You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It's wild. I mean, you think about what the nurses do every day to save lives, and they're in there trying to help this person, and he totally turns on them.
A repeat offender is charged with attacking a nurse practitioner and injuring a police officer. It all happened at a Nashville hospital. We've got more on why bail reform is needed, according to certain advocates, before certain things have to change. A big win for development. Coming up, we're going to break down the numbers for a $17 million grant and how Governor Bill Lee is planning to boost some of the rural economies.
And we're getting closer to the weekend, and we're still keeping 100-degree temperatures in the 7-day forecast. Rain chances are at a minimum. We'll find the best chance for a few raindrops in the forecast.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4 o'clock here on this Thursday morning. I'm Justin McFarland. We do want to begin with Operation Crime and Justice, as a repeat offender is now being charged with attacking a nurse practitioner and a police officer. The whole thing happened at the TriStar Centennial Medical Center. Now, police claim it was Arterio Morris, who was a patient inside that hospital when he tried to leave the emergency room. That's when a police officer, as well as a nurse practitioner, tried to stop him. Officers say that Morris resisted, hurting that medical worker as well as that police officer. And after an investigation, court records show that Morris is a repeat offender. He previously had been charged with crimes ranging from robbery to first-degree attempted murder. Advocates for bail reform say this is another example of why things need to change when it comes to low-cost bond across the midstate.
He's not a squeaky clean guy. He has a rap sheet. He attempted murder. So why are we going to let him back out on the street again?
Well, this time the bond for him is around $40,000. He's scheduled to go to court coming up on July the 12th. Well, the issue of a low bond and repeat offenders is a subject that we've been covering now for several months. Tonight, local leaders and advocates are hosting a bail reform panel. This will include judges as well as the district attorney. For more information about where that is and how you can take part, you can visit our website at fox17.com. Let's get to Greg Bowles right now. He's watching the soaring temperatures.
That we are. Leading into the weekend, our hottest 2 days of the next 7 are going to be on Saturday and Sunday, and they both have a chance to hit 100 degrees. Now, that's by no means a guarantee, really, just a chance. Upper 90s, that's in the book, for sure. 100, though, it's very hard to hit here in Nashville. You wouldn't think it is, but it actually is not that easy to creep that warm. We've been there once in the last 11 years, and that was last August. So we have not done it a lot, and we're going to have 8 days in a row, if the forecast holds, between today and the next 8 days, that are all at or above 90. That will be our longest streak since 2012, that it's been that hot, that consistently in a row. No rain for a few days. That's going to allow us to get hotter. We're still all clear for code red, but Saturday and Sunday likely will be days we have to watch out for dangerous heat and heat index values today. Just low to middle 90s in the forecast, which I know sounds like it's still abrasive, but we get about 49 of them a year, so it isn't that off the beaten path for us. 71 degrees temperature right now. We had a clear night that allowed our temperatures to drop a little bit more than yesterday morning, which doesn't give us much relief, but we'll take any degree we can get at this point. Taking a look, we're going through the 80s throughout this morning, just like yesterday. We'll top out upper 80s into the 90s. Cumberland Plateau, obviously a little bit cooler in the 80s, but everyone else looking at those temperatures that will be in the low to mid 90s by the middle of the afternoon.
Steer clear traffic at 404. A quick look outside here takes us to I-65 at Trinity Lane. There on the north side of town. So far, so good on your accident front. A light day yesterday, in part because of the national holiday, but today is not a holiday, so we're going to be going back to work. We're going to tell you more about your traffic coming up in a few. Keeping your eyes on the road this morning, officers and deputies are teaming up to crack down on distracted drivers, especially in Williamson County. Let's get out to Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey. He has been looking into this operation. He's live in Brentwood with some details.
Good morning, Justin. So I'm told the Williamson County Sheriff's Office spearheaded this operation, but they weren't alone, working with the Franklin Police Department and also Tennessee Highway Patrol. And what they were mainly looking for in this was people on their phones behind the wheel. And they're also looking at people speeding here on I-65 and in this area, again, in Williamson County. Now, they did this operation on Tuesday, and they pulled over more than 100 drivers, again, just Tuesday. Now, taking a look at some of the numbers from this, of the 118 traffic stops, there were 79 hands-free violations, also 3 for speeding, and the operation actually led to a drug arrest and 6 violations for driving with a suspended license or driving with no license. Now, just this year on January 1st, 2024, the punishments became worse for driving distracted. Now, people under the age of 18 will get 7 points for a second offense, which is enough to have their license suspended for up to a year, and anyone 18 or older, so the adults will get 4 points for a first offense, and a second offense will be 5 points as well for, and that will be the third offense too. Now, coming up at 4:30, we're going to continue to look at this, talk about distracted driving, and bring you some numbers of just how dangerous it could be when you're on your phone behind the wheel. Keep those eyes on the road. Live this morning in Brentwood, I'm Johnny Matthew. Guys, back over to you.
It was more of a grassroots effort to get the homeless out of this area.
Well, some local residents are seeing a major difference in their community. We're going to take a look at the before and after images of a... Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Nashville continues to break records when it comes to tourism, and it's still growing. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live for us this morning downtown, talking about those records and the big events that are coming up next.
That's right, Justin. These numbers are topping pre-pandemic numbers, topping in at around $10.6 billion. That's a record-breaking number of people that came last year, according to the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. That's an increase of nearly 6% from 2022, coupled with a 4% increase in visitors, which climbed to a record of 16.8 million. But people aren't just coming to Nashville, they're spending a lot more when they do. Now, people aren't just preparing to handle this growth of tourism. Nashville is starting to craft plans to meet this tourism expansion. Plans to meet. They are already 2,000 hotel rooms under construction and 13,000 in the planned pipeline, according to Nashville CBC. And that's on top of the already 40,000 hotel rooms in Nashville that are already in use. Now, the question is, can they sustain this influx of tourists? Well, the CBC plans to announce their strategic tourism plan coming today. Now, we're expecting to see a little bit more numbers, but they do admit that this is a 2-year plan in the making that took a lot of input from nearly 100 community leaders. So we'll have more coming up when we learn this. But for now, live here on Broadway, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
It's definitely gotten better. They moved 35 camps out.
The high cost of homelessness this morning takes us over to Hermitage. That's where people say they are seeing a big difference when it comes to the cleanup of a former homeless camp. That's thanks in part to a trespass warrant that has been installed there in that area. Now, the Hermitage encampment, very close to Old Hickory Boulevard and Andrew Jackson Way, used to look like these images back here you see behind me here. Lots of trash and garbage and lots of debris. It was permanently closed back in January. People nearby have reported all of these things like the trash and the needles and other safety concerns, but they say a lot of it has been removed.
There used to be so many homeless people flooding in and out.
Even after the camp was closed back in January, people who live nearby say they were still concerned with safety. Now, over at the Hermitage Golf Learning Center, their owner, Steven Cisco, tells Fox 17 he's noticed a difference after the trespass warrants were filed against the people there.
People feel safer, and you don't have people yelling and screaming, and where they're here hitting golf balls don't feel safe if they see a numerous amount of people coming in and out of the trees.
Now, the Metro Council member Jordan Huffman tells us that the city is finding adequate housing for displaced people. However, more funding, he says, is needed for mental health and substance abuse services.
Coming up in the forecast, we're talking about intense heat going in toward the weekend. This could be one of the hottest days we've had since August of last year. We'll time that out in your forecast.
As steer clear traffic takes us to I-24, very close to Hickory Hollow Parkway. We're looking good over there. Police in the city of Clarksville are now continuing their investigation this morning. This is after a false bomb threat. Now, Wednesday morning, the Clarksville Police Department received a 911 call about a possible explosive device that was found in a car that was purchased from a scrapyard. Now, this caused multiple roads to shut down. A few hours later, the Clarksville Police Department cleared the area. Now, this is an ongoing investigation, and we're still working to learn more about the details here. Well, there's also new information coming in this morning about an Antioch man that's being charged with attempted homicide. Metro Police say that Antonio Mason fired 6 to 7 rounds towards his ex-girlfriend's car on Tuesday while 2 teenagers were inside. They say that the woman was at Mason's apartment on Apache Trail to discuss belongings that he had left at her house. Police say they found 3 bullet holes in that woman's car. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Mason is being charged with attempted criminal homicide and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Well, we are now in hurricane season, and we are seeing our first named storm of that season that could be making landfall a little bit later this morning. Let's get to Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Brent Luna, who has more on the storm named Alberto.
This is Tropical Storm Alberto down here just off the coast of Mexico, and it's set to make landfall within the next several hours with maximum sustained winds around 45 miles per hour. Alberto is still headed into favorable conditions tonight too, so it's not really going to weaken up at all before it makes landfall. This is a very large storm too, and it's bringing the wind, but more so some very heavy rainfall to areas along the Gulf Coast. Parts of Mexico could pick up a good 10 inches of rain, and parts of South Texas could get more than 5 inches of rain. Moderate coastal flooding is possible along much of the Texas coast. We're also watching a couple of other areas for development right now too. One of those is over here in the Atlantic Ocean, right over there where that yellow X is. That's an area of showers and thunderstorms a few hundred miles east of the Bahamas. Environmental conditions are only marginally conducive due to the nearby dry air, but the National Hurricane Center is still giving this disturbance a 30% chance of development within the next 2 days and 7 days. Back down in the southwestern part of the Gulf of Mexico, there's a broad area of storms that should develop near the Yucatan Peninsula Friday. The National Hurricane Center has given that area a 0% chance of development within the next 2 days and a 40% chance of becoming a tropical depression within the next 7 days.
Brent Luna reporting there. Thank you, Brent. Well, it's already been feeling like summer. Temperatures in the upper 80s and 90s over the last few days. But that recent heat wave is just a sample of what's to come, because believe it or not, today is the actual first day of summer. So for more on the forecast, let's get over to Greg Bovis, who's standing by right now. A look here at, Greg, what we can expect going forward here as summer officially gets going.
Yeah, officially starts. Think about you go to dinner.
Yeah.
You know, the main course is summer, but we've had some appetizers so
We
far.
have.
We really have. Kind of gearing us up for the main course.
Sometimes those appetizers can be pretty big, that you may not want an entree, but, you know, we're going to get one anyway.
Full meal occasionally. We've had a couple of those already, and now we're getting to the real meat and potatoes of the real heat that moves in this weekend. Even a little fog in some spots here this morning. No advisories out there. There may be 1 or 2 areas of some reduced visibility. Nothing to the point to where it's going to slow us down too much. Just be mindful it may be out there for you. So here we are. June 20th, first day of spring, I should say of summer. Spring is done. I mean, it's really, as far as temperatures are concerned, it's been done for quite some time. 5 a.m., 70 degrees. 6 o'clock will be at 69. 7 o'clock, 71. Today will be much sunnier than yesterday and also the day before, so just keep that in mind. The sunshine really will be abundant today. The UV index is about as high as it can get. Sunburn time outside today is less than 10 minutes. In the peak of the day, so we're talking between noon and 4 p.m. Lunchtime, you're going to want to be inside if you can. If not, find those ways to beat the heat. If you choose to be outside, hopefully all the precautions are there. We've been talking about them for days. You know what they are: the sunscreen, the light, clothes, all that. 87 at 11 o'clock, 89 degrees at noon, 91 at 1 p.m. Temperatures keep climbing. We're going for the middle 90s this afternoon in the Nashville area. You get just outside from downtown, upper 80s to low 90s, kind of like yesterday. Taking a look, wash your weight. I've been saying go for it. No rain likely until we get into the weekend itself. Today is going to be dry. We're not worried about anything there. A few clouds for curb appeal later this afternoon. Here you go toward the afternoon hours themselves. Not much happening. Tomorrow, there could be a pop-up shower. It's not a big chance, but there are a couple little green little pop-ups that flare up and then fizzle out pretty quickly. Not a guarantee. I would say plan on not having rain until we get into the weekend itself and look at the 7-day forecast. No relief from the heat. It just gets worse from here. 96 degrees this afternoon, 98 tomorrow, and I'm still putting 100 on there for Saturday and Sunday. Upper 90s or a slam dunk. The 100 is a possibility. Our last one, as I mentioned about 15 minutes ago, was back in August of last year, and then we keep the upper 90s going from Monday into Tuesday. This could end up being 8 straight days that are above 90 degrees and well into the upper 90s for 5 of those.
Steer clear traffic for you at 420. Quick look here at what we're dealing with at I-40. This is I-40 at Donaldson Pike out there. So far, so good as you get out there towards the airport. No big hangups in either direction. Haven't had any major accidents so far, at least now the interstate this morning. We'll continue to keep an eye on things, but in all honesty, we're doing really, really nice as you get out and about here so far on this Thursday morning. As the Pentagon faces military recruitment challenges, Congress is considering legislation that would change selective services. So listen to this. One proposal would automatically register men for the draft when they turn 18. The House passed the change, but the Senate Armed Services Committee has yet to consider that particular measure. The other proposal would require women to register for the selective services draft. That measure passed the Senate Armed Services Committee, but has not made it to the full Senate for a vote as of yet, or the House. The top Republican on the Senate Armed Services Committee says he strongly opposes the changes. The United States military has not activated the draft in more than 50 years. Well, the Senate approved bipartisan bill to create more nuclear power in the United States. The ADVANCE Act will make it easier, faster, and less expensive to build nuclear reactors. This will also cut down on the cost and speed up of the approval process for this. The ADVANCE Act will now go to the president's desk, President Joe Biden, where he is expected to sign it. Well, many families will be enjoying the sun and outdoors. Health experts have a few tips on how to make sure that you and your family have a safe summer.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, our partner.
424 is the time. Summer should be all about fun in the sun, but last summer alone, nearly 200,000 children suffered injuries that sent them to local emergency rooms. Now, there are some few things you want to know when it comes to summer fun out there. The number one reason that kids were sent to the ER were because of bike injuries. Oh, it can hurt so bad falling off that bike. Second were swimming accidents. That's followed by trampoline and monkey bar falls. So a reminder, as you get out and about to enjoy this warm weather, that goes for adults as well as children out there who's trying to have a little fun as well.
Yeah, and between the fun, the hydration, and all those other things come into play here, especially this weekend, taking a look, this is what we're dealing with. I've still got 100 penciled in for both days. I say penciled in because if we get a little bit of cloud cover here or there, upper 90s and not 100, but if we get good enough bursts of sun between noon and 3 p.m., real good shot at it both days. Also a 20% chance for a pop-up shower. We get one of those, obviously 100 does not happen, but there's a really good bet. We really are kind of 50-50 of hitting that mark. Near record nighttime temperatures in the low to middle 70s, and the humidity makes the heat index above 100. We have the Live Golf Tournament at the Groves. That's down near the Franklin area, if you're not quite familiar where that's at. Friday is the first tee off at 12:15, 92. 98 degrees at 3 o'clock, 93 at 6, 101 the feels like temperature right in the middle of the day. Saturday almost the same, 12:15 tee off, 95, 99 degrees at 3 o'clock, 95 at 6, a 101 feels like. And Sunday, again, if you're watching the tournament at home, you'll be much more comfortable. If you're trying to get out there, there are still some tickets available for certain packages. 94 degrees at 12:15, 94 at 3 p.m. on Sunday, and 95 at 6 p.m. Here's the kicker. We get more humid as the weekend ends. The humidity actually could make us feel even warmer than 102. It could feel as hot as 105 degrees. And we know if you've been to a golf tournament before, maybe you haven't, there are not a lot of shady areas. So ball caps, visors, extra water, all that if you're heading out there this weekend.
Making international headlines this morning, a U.S. soldier detained in Russia has now been sentenced for theft and threatening murder. According to the Russia State News, U.S. Staff Sergeant Gordon Black has been sentenced to nearly 4 years. Now, Russian authorities arrested Black last month. He had traveled to Russia to visit a woman believed to be his girlfriend. Now, Black was accused of stealing a little over $100 from this woman. He was also accused of assaulting her. His lawyer says that the soldier there will appeal. Right now, the United States government is warning American citizens not to travel to Russia in the middle of the growing tensions between the two countries. Steer clear traffic at 65 and 24 north of town, looking pretty good so far. We're going to take a look at some other areas of town coming up in the next few minutes.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
We are inching toward the weekend, and the heat is still in control of the forecast. We could see our first triple-digit day of the year. We'll find that coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic at I-65 at 24 at the junction on the north side of town. We're going to tell you when this will slow up a little bit later. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4:30 or close to it here on your Thursday morning. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
When my son was murdered, he was 17. The kids that murdered him was 18 and 19.
We're beginning this morning with Operation Crime and Justice, as we're taking now a closer look at how a spike in violent crimes among teenagers is affecting many families across the mid-state. Now you're hearing from Talia Maget, who says that her son graduated from Hillsborough High School about a month before he was shot and killed outside of his friend's Sweet 16 birthday party. This mother says that her son had so much more life to live, and she doesn't want to see other families go through this thing.
We celebrated him going to prom in April, his graduation in May, and early June he was dead. 12 years later, you know, I still have my moments.
On Tuesday, Fox 17 spoke with a juvenile court judge, Sheila Calloway, about her efforts to tackle teen crime across the mid-state. Judge Calloway says that the system has several programs ranging from addiction recovery to gang resistance to try and keep teenagers out of trouble. Meanwhile, some state lawmakers are taking a little bit of a different approach. Last session, state representatives passed a Parental Accountability Act. This allows juvenile courts to fine parents up to $1,000 for certain acts that their teenagers do. That law goes into effect on July the 1st. What goes into effect right now is summer temperatures, because today is the first day of summer. Let's get to Greg.
That it is, Justin. The official start time for it going to be 3:50 later on this afternoon, and everything screams summer in the forecast. Hottest temperatures so far this year. That's taking place going into the upcoming weekend. So right on time with the calendar. Doesn't always happen that way, where we flip the calendar to the new season and the season says, hello, I'm already here. This time, oh, it's here. Taking a look. South Nashville camera, we do have a few areas of some patchy fog out there. We'll talk about that momentarily, but just know that nothing to put us into a code red. The heat today, we've been fairly accustomed to now for the better part of a week. Upper 80s when you get a little away from the Nashville area, but most of us low to middle 90s going in toward the afternoon, and also dry. So we're not going to see much happening here on our sky cameras. A beautiful sunrise coming our way in about an hour, and no rain today. Here's how it works hour by hour, chunking it out every 4 hours or so. 10 a.m., 85 degrees, 2 o'clock, 93, 94 at 5 p.m. Any outdoor activities you've got, you know the drill. Make sure we're just keeping the hydration, the shade, the breaks, all that good stuff going on. And yes, for lunchtime, maybe have something cool. Nice cool glass of lemonade sounds good today. Taking a look. Again, low 90s as early as 1 p.m. As far as your 7-day forecast goes, 96 for Nashville today. Again, outlying areas a little bit cooler. 98 degrees tomorrow. 100 still in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. Not a guarantee we hit it, but boy, a lot of the things that we would need to get there could be in place right in the middle of the afternoon.
Let's get to your steer clear traffic this morning. Let's get started here at 65 and 24 on the north side of town. This is an area that is not clogged now, but it will be coming up here a little bit later. Right now, we're doing fine up there on the north side. No big problems as you make that drive in from all points north. Madison, Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, you're doing just fine up there in that particular neck of the woods. This is I-40, very close to Donaldson Pike. We've got one disabled vehicle there on the shoulder, but still a clean drive to the airport so far this morning. If that's where you're going, we'll continue to watch things for you. Well, Fox 17 News got a hold of some numbers from the Williamson County Sheriff's Office after deputies started cracking down on distracted drivers earlier this week. Fox 17 News' Johnny Matthews live for us this morning out in Brentwood with a look into this operation and the stats to back it up to show you just how dangerous the phone can be when it's in your hand while you're behind the wheel.
Yeah, well, it certainly causes a lot of accidents every year, actually every day, Justin, across the country. And so the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, they did this sting on Tuesday. They work with THP, Tennessee Highway Patrol, and the Franklin Police Department, issuing 79 total hands-free violations. And they also pulled over a few dozen other people for things like speeding. It actually led to a drug arrest as well. But let's talk about how dangerous it can be. Well, according to AAA, some of these numbers show that 3,500 people a year die from distracted driving related crashes, and well, the injuries, that's another 362,000 people getting hurt. That averages out all to about 10 deaths per day, again, across the country. Now, as for new drivers, well, the teens on the road who text and drive increase their chance of crashing by 23 times, according to the National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration. Now, another thing that officials are reminding people during all this, well, one, they're trying to keep the road safer for everybody, but also when it comes to those teens, AAA calls this point, the summer months, the 100 deadliest days. So if you're an adult with kids in the car, maybe they're a current driver, a new driver, or maybe they're future drivers, not only teach them those rules of the road, but be a good example behind the wheel as well. Live this morning in Brentwood, I'm Johnny Matthew, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, the Tennessee Volunteers continued their dominance on the baseball field in Omaha as they are taking down Florida State and is putting the Vols back in the World Series final for the first time since the early 1950s, 1951 to be exact. Now, you may recall the Vols already beat Florida State earlier in the tournament. That game was an absolute thriller with the Vols coming up with a lot of runs in the bottom of the ninth. This one, not so much. The Vols were early and often in their game with Florida State. Hunter Easley came up with a huge hit, driving in a few runs. Later on, you're going to see a tremendous catch by Kavaris Terrace in the center field, right there off the wall. Watch him pop up. He's good, firing the ball back in. Then later on, Blake Burke coming up with the cherry on top in the bottom of the ninth. You may get to see him hit that home run. The Vols get it done. They win 7-2 the final score. The Vols also had some great pitching with there's that home run I was talking about. That's soaring there to center field, way back in the seats. Vols win 7-2. After the game, Tony Vitalo, the head coach, talked about his team's performance.
There's we can always say before something happens, and there's been a lot of build up into the successes we've had this year and the failures too, to be honest with you, and it's just been fun to be a part of. And as far as my emotions, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just following these guys. There's certain tasks that I have to do, and there's direction that I give them, and they'll listen, but kind of following them right now makes it nice.
Well, the 3-game championship will begin coming up on Saturday. The Vols have to win 2 out of 3 to become World Series champions. Of course, the season is over for Florida State.
After another record-breaking year, what's next for Nashville tourism? I'm live here on Broadway with more coming up.
And Fox 17 is your only 4:39 is the time. Nashville is breaking records when it comes to tourism. And it's still growing. More and more people visiting Music City each and every year. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live for us this morning downtown to talk about the records and the big events still to come.
That's right, Justin. They're continuing to break these records, actually topping $10.5 billion in tourism revenue just last year, and that's according to the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. Now, that's nearly an increase of 6% from 2022, coupled with a 4% increase in visitors, which climbed to a record 16.8 million. But people aren't just coming to Nashville, they're spending more when they do. And on top of those records, visitors are also coming for more than just leisure travel. CVent named Nashville the third most popular destination for meetings in 2023. Now, preparing to handle the growth of tourism, Nashville is starting to craft plans to meet the tourism expansion. There are already 2,000 hotel rooms under construction and 13,000 in the planned pipeline, according to Nashville CVC, and that's on top of the 40,000 hotel rooms Nashville already has in use. But the question now is, can they sustain this influx of tourists? Well, today, the CVC plans to announce their strategic plan, something that they admit has been more than 2 years in the making and has taken a lot of people, including 100+ members of the community, to put their input on this plan. We'll have more and keep you updated as we learn more. For now, live here on Broadway, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Steer clear traffic this morning. So far, we're doing okay out there on the roads. This is going to be 65 at the Fern Avenue overpass there. As you take a look on the north side of town, no big problems up there so far have gotten in our way. We have not seen anything on the maps or on any of our traffic information that would suggest an issue. Here are your overall drive times. Hendersonville into downtown at 23 minutes. Murfreesboro into downtown at around 55 minutes for now. Franklin into downtown at 27 minutes on that drive from Williamson County. We'll continue to watch things on the road, but in all honesty, we're looking really, really nice so far here on this Thursday.
Coming up, your forecast looking nice and feeling pretty nice in the weather department for now, but the heat cranks back up today and also going to get even hotter toward the weekend. We'll break it down hour by hour in your forecast.
Coming up on 444 here on this Thursday morning, and what you're looking at is the welcome for the champion. Nashville is holding its first ever LIV Golf tournament this weekend, and that includes this golfer right here, the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau, who makes the arrival there. He even brought that beautiful U.S. Open trophy with him to Music City. Now, Nashville is the 9th tournament on LIV's 14-event schedule, and it's expected to be one of the loudest tournament of the year. You don't think of loud and golf in the same sentence a lot of times, but that's how they're describing it. We asked him how he plans to contribute to some of that excitement. Listen to the champ.
More great shots, more exciting, thrilling, amazing shots, and I gotta recover and get ready for Friday. Certainly, it's been a whirlwind for me, and a lot of adrenaline going through my body the past few days. There's going to be a adrenaline dump here in the next day probably, and I gotta get myself back up and ready for Friday.
Now, if you're wondering, LIV has a little bit different of a format than the PGA Tour. They play a 3-round tournament, 54-hole tournament, no cut either. So they're going to begin on Friday, and then they'll go all the way through, nobody being cut from the tournament when they finish up. The price is a little bit bigger, too. LIV Nashville has a total purse of around $25 million, which is actually $3.5 million more than the purse from this past U.S. Open. In your community, it appears that the endangered Nashville crayfish may be making a big comeback. Local experts who've been studying the freshwater crayfish for a little while say that their numbers are on the rise. Now, the crayfish made their home mainly around creeks in the city of Nashville and are very social, sometimes living in groups of around 60 under a single rock. There's talk of them being taken off of the endangered list, but experts say there still needs to be protection because of rapid growth in many areas that threaten their habitat. So we'll see. Well, if you love the great outdoors, then you're in for a sweet treat this month. Nashville's full moon will be a strawberry moon. It will make its appearance coming up tomorrow. Now, the strawberry moon got its name from the wild strawberries that ripen during the month of June. The next full moon is coming up in July. It will be known as the buck moon, named after the new antlers that grow on the male deer around that time of the year. So all the moons have a lot of different names and a lot of different meanings and purposes, and I'm sure Greg Bovis knows them all. I do not, but he's here looking at the forecast here. There's no summer moon, is there? Because today's first day of summer.
No, there definitely isn't, but the fact that today's the first day of summer and the full moon fall at the same time,
yeah,
the moon's going to be the lowest full moon in the sky we've seen in years.
Wow.
So it'll look bigger.
Okay.
And we have great viewing for it, so it'll look almost 1.5 times the size.
Not a lot of
that it
clouds
usually,
out there. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, take a look for it tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday night. Not a lot of cloud cover at all, so it should be great viewing. But, yeah, it will look a little bit bigger and brighter than we're used to for a full moon. 85 degrees at the pool later today. 93 at 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 94 degrees. At this point, pool water probably feels like bath water for a lot of us, but it's better than nothing to try to beat the heat. Just know the UV index is the highest it's been in a long time. We'll touch on that after the pollen counts. I've been getting asked a few questions the last few days. Why am I getting the sniffles when the pollen counts are low? It depends what you're allergic to. There are still a few types of trees and a little bit of grass pollen that is out there for us that was a little less prevalent earlier in the year, so keep that in mind. Back to the UV index. It's extreme. It's the point now where you get a sunburn in less than 10 minutes if you don't have sunscreen on or you're not covered up. That's how quickly it is. It's the strongest the UV index has been so far this year. The muggy meter's creeping up closer and closer to the 70-degree mark. So the humidity, a little worse than yesterday, going to be rough this weekend for us. It's going to feel like we're in the triple digits no matter where you are. So this might be one of the last nights you want to get out there and fire up the grill before you might be, cooking indoors or doing whatever you can to beat the heat, maybe even ordering out. Taking a look here. Grilling forecast. We're still in the 90-degree mark by about 7 o'clock. If you're away from Nashville, you'll be about 2 or 3 clicks cooler than that, so keep that in mind. You can always keep track of your hometown hour-by-hour temperatures by getting the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. You just download it by scanning the QR code right there on your screen, or you can go to the App Store, Google Play Store. You just type in Code Red, and that's all you got to do. Taking a look here, 7-day forecast. You're going to want ways to beat the heat for the foreseeable future. 96 today, 98 degrees tomorrow. Still holding on to the possibility, not a guarantee, but possibility that we do make it up to 100 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. A few isolated pop-up showers can't be ruled out leading into the weekend that we'll talk about in the next look at the forecast. But next, good chance for storms won't be until next week.
Steer clear traffic at 449. A quick look here at what we're dealing with out there at I-24 at Harding Place. As you make that drive in from the south and east side of town, you can see there's one car sitting over there on the shoulder of the road, not causing big distractions so far this morning. You're looking okay. We'll continue to follow things for you, let you know exactly what is happening with steer clear traffic, because we got you covered live and local through 9 o'clock this morning. Prices in the classroom. There's a new report out that says that many experts want to ban cell phones in America's classroom. Fox 17 News Ultra Onishar takes a look at one school district who did that to show us how it's going.
Across the country, momentum is building behind efforts to separate students from smartphones during the school day.
I think the research is clear, the harmful effects on kids' mental health, the physical health, their academics.
On Tuesday, the Los Angeles Unified School District greenlit a plan to ban phones on campus starting in 2025. The logistics are yet to be worked out. California Governor Gavin Newsom says he wants to see this statewide. Back in 2019, he signed a law that allows schools to ban phone use. It's a rare area of agreement shared by his political rival, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who last year signed a law requiring schools to ban phones in class. States all over the country are taking similar steps.
They're not constantly trying to check their phones. They're not constantly, trying to text their friends.
72% of high school teachers in the U.S. and a third of middle school teachers say cell phone distraction is a major problem, according to a new poll by Pew Research Center.
This warning label is...
It was just this week that Surgeon General Vivek Murthy said social media is so harmful to teens, platforms should come with a warning label, like what's on a pack of cigarettes. Some schools have started using special locked pouches which fit phones, headphones, and smartwatches. And a faculty member has a special device to unlock them at the end of the day. Now, you'd expect students to be upset if their phones are taken away, but a lot of parents also say they oppose phone bans because they want to be able to reach their child in the event of an emergency, like a school shooting.
It was a text message this morning from my daughter, and it was absolutely horrifying.
In January, when a 17-year-old opened fire at Perry Middle and High School outside Des Moines, for this mom, communication was everything.
The best phone call I got was saying that they were okay.
But that's cut off if phones are banned or locked up. Smartphones have become almost an extension of ourselves. Taking them away would be a major change, for better or worse. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar reporting.
Crisis in the Classroom is Fox 17 News' commitment to exposing problems in our schools and trying to find solutions. If you have a story that you think we should be doing, you can send us an email to news@fox17.com or call our tip line 615-266-4149. Well, coming up, we're going to take a look at a big worldwide event that is aimed to raise awareness about the importance of teaching kids how to swim. We've got those details up next. Thanks for joining us each and every morning right here on Fox 17 News This Morning. We're your only local. 4:55 is the time. Live look there across Lower Broadway. That's Bridgestone Arena coming up this weekend. Alanis Morissette has a big concert happening there. By the way, tonight at the Symphony Center, tonight and tomorrow night, if you're into this, Smokey Robinson is in town. Yeah, that's Smokey Robinson from Motown, all that. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, wrote a lot of songs. He's in town tonight over at the Symphony Center. So always, listen, we can go from Smokey Robinson to Alanis Morissette in back-to-back nights. That's why we call ourselves Music City, okay? It's not just a slogan, it's a real thing. Happening tomorrow, the Western Kentucky State Fair returns for their 73rd year of events, rides, exhibits, and competitions. Now, fair goers in Hopkinsville can get in the gate for $3. But remember, most of the fair is cash only. That is unique in the day and age when everybody is going away from cash and using debit cards. It's cash only there at that particular fair. Gates open up at 5 p.m. on Friday night, and the fair will run all through next week through Saturday the 28th. Well, listen to this. Astronomers will possibly witness the first ever black hole. Take a look at that. In late 2019, astronomers noticed a spike in brightness in a galaxy located around 300 million light years away from Earth. With the recent telescope, the team compared the old data from NASA that they found to an increase in galaxy brightness. Now, experts suggest that the activity in the middle of the galaxy may be a supermassive black hole. Supermassive black hole. Let's get to Greg right now, who's been watching this carefully. Greg, a black hole versus a supermassive black hole?
Different size, but all galaxies have a black hole at the center of them. Even ours does too. So the fact that it's that large means it's probably a large galaxy as well. I'm curious to see what all that data ends up coming out to be. Yeah. The more you know, and the more you learn here at 5 a.m. in the morning on a Thursday, right? Taking a look later on this evening, we'll get back to ground level quite literally. Let's play some ball. Sounds still in the middle of their homestand here. 6:35 first pitch at First Horizon Park. 93 degrees at 6 p.m. 87 degrees at 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. will be at 75. Not a ton of humidity, and honestly one of the better days we're going to have. Tomorrow we get even hotter and we take that trend into the weekend. Talked about it yesterday. Haven't changed it. Possibility it hitting 100 degrees both days. Now the heat index, even if the actual air temperature doesn't hit those numbers right there, the heat index will feel at or above 100 degrees both days. Easily across the board and near record nighttime temperatures. So warm 24/7. We get that cycle going and rolling into the weekend. Just know that there's a chance we could get one or two brief little pop-up showers to cool us down, but I would not bank on rain to save your day when it comes to the heat. It's just going to be that abrasive. You can always follow along with all of our updates when it comes to severe weather, breaking weather, record weather on our X pages on Twitter.com. You can also go to our Facebook pages here, mine especially if you want to submit your dog of the day, who we always meet during our 5 o'clock hour, and we meet once every hour after that. So that'll be coming up here as we go into our 5 o'clock half hour.
4:58 is the time. Let's take a look at your steer clear traffic this morning. This is going to be I-40 at Fessler's Lane. They're just east of downtown. Smooth traffic out there so far. No big problems in either direction there. Looking at a very nice drive here for you on this Thursday. A lot of people going back to work here on this Thursday. Yesterday was a national holiday. Few people had off, so we'll see if traffic does increase a little bit later in the morning. Well, get ready to take a dive. The 15th anniversary of the world's largest swimming lesson is projected to have thousands of people in the pool today. Now, the event does raise awareness while teaching hundreds of children about water safety and skills. This is according to the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. They say that drowning is the single leading cause of death in children ages 1 to 4. Researchers shows that swimming lessons can lower 88%, can lower the percentage 88% among children who do drown in pools. So they're hoping to stop that with this huge swimming lesson happening today. Well, here is a story out of Louisiana. They become the very first state in the nation to require the 10 Commandments to be displayed in public schools and classrooms. Now, Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry signed this bill into law yesterday. It requires a display of the 10 Commandments in all public schools and classrooms there. Now, it goes into effect next year and will be funded by private dollars, we're told. 4 groups, including the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, are threatening to sue. The group says that a 1980 Supreme Court decision banned displays like this. Our 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It's wild. I mean, you think about what the nurses do every day to save lives, and they're in there trying to help this person, and he totally turns on them.
We have a repeat offender now charged with attacking a nurse and a police officer right here in a mid-state hospital. Bail reform advocates once again saying something's got to change.
Plus, officers and deputies are cracking down on distracted driving in Williamson County. We'll bring you the results of an operation that was conducted just this week.
And the next 3 days will be increasingly hotter with a slim chance of showers. More on triple-digit forecast possibilities to plan out your weekend. That's a beautiful sunrise.
Sure is.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be here for you through 9 a.m. Let's get started here on your Thursday morning with the top few stories you'll want to know about.
Before justices go on summer recess, the White House is bracing for a U.S. Supreme Court ruling on another historic case regarding abortion. Now, this one focuses on whether federal law can override state abortion bans. The High Court's decision could be the most significant ruling on abortion since the Roe reversal that was 2 years ago.
And the deadline is now over for candidates to qualify for CNN's presidential debate. They had until midnight last night to meet the criteria. Candidates had to be on enough state ballots to reach the 270 electoral votes that would be needed to win the presidency, along with meeting certain national polling requirements as well. And so far, both Donald Trump and President Biden have accepted CNN's debate invitation. That debate is set for June 27th in Atlanta.
Let's talk about weather. Mexican authorities say 3 people are now dead following heavy rains from Tropical Storm Alberto. Alberto is the first named storm of hurricane season. It formed in the southwestern Gulf area of Mexico just yesterday. The tropical storm bringing heavy rainfall, strong winds, and flooding along the coast of Mexico and also Texas.
And we'll be tracking that for you as well. We'll be talking to Greg throughout the course of the morning to see whether we might have any mainland impacts. Operation Crime and Justice, and a repeat offender is now charged with attacking a nurse practitioner and a police officer. This all happened at TriStar Centennial Medical Center.
Police say that Arturo Morris was a hospital patient who tried leaving the emergency room. Well, a police officer and a nurse practitioner, they tried stopping him, and that is when officers say Morris resisted, hurting both of them, the nurse practitioner and the officer.
Court records show Morris is a repeat offender who has previously been charged with robbery and attempted first-degree murder. Bail reform advocates say this is yet another example of necessary changes.
He's not a squeaky clean guy. He has a rap sheet. He attempted murder. So why are we going to let him back out on the street again?
And this time, his bond is less than $40,000, which, you know, a lot of advocates for change say would be very easy to meet. Morris's next court date is coming up July 12th.
And listen, we continue to hear from those bail reform advocates. This issue of low bond and repeat offenders is a subject that Fox 17 News has been covering for months.
We have, and tonight, local leaders and advocates are hosting a bail reform panel, including judges and the district attorney.
If you want some more updates about that panel, go to fox17.com. We have all the information laid out for you to go ahead and read through.
Here we are, 504, taking a look at the big three things in the weather department here to kick off your Thursday. And this is the first day of summer. We feel like we've already been having summer for the last 2 weeks, but this is the day officially when the sun is at its highest here and gives us one of our longest days worth of daylight. Taking a look, limited rain chances the next few days. There are a couple that are there, but that's nothing to write home about, nothing for everyone to work into. And we're still aiming for 100+ degree days going into the upcoming weekend. How is June faring us so far? Well, the blue boxes are below average highs and the orange boxes are above average high temperatures. We've had 5 of those that have been in the 90s so far. We'll continue to work through even more 90-degree temperatures. Here's the forecast versus average. The yellow line is what we're supposed to be. We don't get back to near normal until late next week. We're talking about upper 90s starting tomorrow, going into the triple digits starting on Saturday into Sunday and Monday. It's going to be hot no matter which way you look at it. Where do we go today? Right side of your screen. We're starting off in the 60s and 70s. We'll be at 85 degrees by 10 o'clock. And then later today, we'll be in the upper 80s and low to middle 90s. The hottest temperature going to be right around 96 in Nashville. Will be a few degrees cooler just outside of downtown.
Greg, thank you so much. Let's check in now for your Steer Clear traffic update and take you out near the airport, a very busy spot as we gear up for the weekend. We know that. Here is a live look, I-40 over at Donaldson Pike, but as of right now, we are not seeing any kind of issues. Yesterday was a federal holiday, so light on the traffic, but expected to pick back up as we head on throughout this Thursday morning.
Right now, 5:05. Keep your eyes on the road. I mean, you don't need us to tell you to do that, but officers and deputies have certainly been out in full force looking for people who are not doing that. They've teamed up this week to crack down on distracted driving, especially in Williamson County.
Fox 17 News' Johnny Maffey has been looking into this operation. He's joining us live in Brentwood with some more updates. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, Erica and Jen. So one thing we're learning is the Williamson County Sheriff's Department has been working with a few departments, Tennessee Highway Patrol and also the Franklin Police Department, so they were not alone cracking down on distracted driving this week again in Williamson County. Now, just on Tuesday, we're learning some of the numbers. They pulled over more than 100 people. 79 of those were for hands-free violations, so you want to make sure that, again, you're not on your phone when you're behind the wheel. They also pulled 3 people over for speeding, so they weren't just looking for distracted driving, and it even led to a drug arrest as well. Now, just this year, back on January 1st, the punishments became worse for driving distracted. People under the age of 18 will get 7 points for a second offense, which is enough to suspend their license for a year, up to a year, that is. Anyone 18 or older will get 4 points for a first or second offense and 5 points on the license for a third offense. Now, coming up when we check back in at 5:30, right here on Fox 17 News this morning, we'll talk about some of the numbers for distracted driving and how they can be really dangerous. Live this morning in Brentwood, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
After yet another record-breaking year, what's next for Nashville tourism? I'm live here on Broadway this morning with more coming up.
It was more of a grassroots effort to get the
5:10 just about. Nashville breaking records when it comes to tourism, and it's still growing. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live this morning in downtown Nashville, talking about those records and the next steps.
That's right. Nashville is making huge headway when it comes to tourism and those pre-pandemic numbers, topping a $10.5 billion tourism revenue from just last year. And that's according to the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. That's also nearly a 6% increase from 2022, coupled with a 4% increase in visitors, which climbed to a record 16.8 million. But people aren't just coming to Nashville. They're spending more when they do. Preparing to handle this growth of tourism, Nashville is starting to craft plans to meet the tourism expansion. There are already 2,000 hotel rooms under construction and 13,000 in the planned pipeline, according to the Nashville CBC. And that's on top of the 40,000 hotel rooms Nashville already has in use. But the question now is, can they sustain this influx of tourists? Well, today, the CBC plans to announce their strategic tourism plan, something that they admit has been 2 years plus in the making and has also taken input from more than 100 community leaders. Now, we'll keep you guys updated as we learn more about this strategic plan. But for now, live here on Broadway, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
It's
Madeline,
definitely
thank you.
gotten better. They moved 35 camps out.
Right now, in the high cost of homelessness, we are showing you on your screen right here side-by-side photos talking about Hermitage neighbors who say, yeah, they're seeing a big difference when it comes to cleanup at a former homeless camp. Look here on your screen. Homeowners say it's thanks in part to a trespass warrant. We're going to explain what that means. The Hermitage encampment near Old Hickory Boulevard and Andrew Jackson Way used to look like what you're seeing right behind me here in the middle. That was permanently closed, though, back in January. Nearby business owners that have talked to Fox 17 News, they reported trash, needles, and really countless safety concerns. Listen.
There should be so many homeless people flooding in and out.
Even after the camp was closed in January, people who live nearby say they were still worried. The Learning Center owner, Stephen Sisko, tells Fox 17 News that he has noticed a big difference after the trespass warrants were filed.
People feel safer, and you don't have people yelling and screaming, and where they're here hitting golf balls don't feel safe if they see a numerous amount of people coming in and out of the trees.
We also now know that Metro Councilman Jordan Huffman tells us the city is finding adequate housing for displaced people. However, more funding is needed, he says, for mental health and substance abuse services.
Coming up in your forecast, working our way into the first weekend of summer. Today being the first day of it, officially at 3:30. I should say 3:50, but taking a look here. Fog is the big story this morning in a few spots, and near triple-digit heat. We'll talk about that in a few.
Yeah, Greg, I did run into a little bit of that fog this morning north of town, so thanks for the heads up there. I-24 Haywood Lane, no fog here. We got a car off to the shoulder, not causing any problems. Volume not ticked up just yet, but we always have our eye on the roads for you. We'll get another steer clear traffic report. Good morning. We have an alert right now from Fox 17 News. A manhunt currently underway in Arkansas for a murder suspect who is believed to be armed and dangerous. Now, they're putting the BOLO, which stands for Be on the Lookout, across several states for this person believed to be armed and dangerous. Arkansas State Police say 50-year-old Stacy Drake, who was from Alabama, killed 3 people in 2 separate carjackings in Oklahoma. So again, the warning is from Arkansas. This guy's from Alabama, but he's charged with killing 3 people in carjackings in Oklahoma.
Yeah, a lot to take on, but one of the vehicles linked to Drake was later found at a hotel over in Arkansas. Officials say that Drake is separately wanted on several warrants from other jurisdictions, including aggravated robbery and murder. Anyone who sees Drake is asked to call 911 immediately.
Police back here at home in Clarksville continuing their investigation this morning after a false bomb threat. We understand that the Clarksville Police Department first got the 911 call yesterday regarding a possible explosive device found in a car that had been bought from a scrapyard.
Yeah, it caused multiple roads to go ahead and just shut down. A few hours later, though, Clarksville police, they were able to clear out this area, but this morning is an ongoing investigation, so we're still working to get some more details for you.
And new this morning, we go to Antioch, where a man is charged with attempted homicide. Metro police say Antonio Mason fired 6 to 7 rounds toward his ex-girlfriend's car Tuesday while 2 teenagers had been inside. Police just now giving us the update saying that they found 3 bullet holes in that woman's car, but thankfully no one is hurt.
Well, back here in Middle Tennessee, we understand that millions of Americans are really dealing with sweltering temperatures. Heat alerts this week. Meteorologists say the heat domes, a heat dome.
Heat dome.
That's the cause.
All right, let's take a closer look now with Christina Coleman.
We're out here for the next couple days, just trying to beat the heat, get out of the heat dome.
Across the I-90 corridor, millions of people are trying to find relief from scorching temperatures and high humidity.
It's really hot, so we loaded up a bunch of things in our cooler and some camp chairs and a tent. We're going to go boat-in camping for the heat wave.
From Iowa to Maine, meteorologists warn some cities may see their hottest temperatures in years. Forecasters predicting highs into the upper 90s, and heat indexes are what most know as the real feel conditions, making some places feel even hotter with temperatures above 100 degrees.
This week's heat dome is centered over Maine and New Brunswick, Canada. So that's where the most intense departure from average is going to occur.
Meteorologists are blaming a heat dome for the miserable conditions. That's when a high pressure system develops in the upper atmosphere, causing air below it to sink and compress. This raises temperatures in the lower atmosphere.
So when you do get a heat wave, what it does to the atmosphere is it makes the air expand. So when the air expands, it creates a dome, which is why you call it a heat dome when you happen to have a heat wave.
The heat dome can last anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. Some researchers believe climate change is also increasing the frequency, size, and intensity of the domes.
Some locations may not see a heat wave if it gets up to 90 degrees. For instance, down in Texas, 90 is no big deal. But up in Michigan, where I live, 90 degrees is considered a heat wave, because the population's just not conditioned to that sort of heat.
The heat dome in the Midwest and the Northeast is expected to stick around until the weekend. Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Yeah, I'd say with 100 degrees on the forecast for us, we're going to be feeling it here. But are we technically part of this so-called heat dome?
There are a lot of terms that we can technically be a part of.
Go ahead, Greg.
Well, basically, they kind of spelled all the science of it there.
Yeah.
Is that really dry above creates a dome because heat expands. And we're going to be kind of seeing that here. We have no rain for a long time. We dry out, hotter temperatures move in. So we could call it that Saturday and Sunday. Sure, we can go with that. What I'm going to call it is no matter what, it's downright hot. There's no way to get around it. Today is the first day of summer, and we'll officially hit that mark at 3:50 this afternoon. Joked about it last hour, but it's kind of true. We've kind of already had like the appetizer to the main course of summer, and now we're moving into the real big stuff when it comes to triple-digit heat possible for this weekend. There are some areas of patchy fog. I've mentioned that. Watch out for them, especially to north and east in the Nashville area. We're seeing it most prevalent. No advisories and no visibility below a mile, but definitely some patches that have been found here on a few of our maps. Taking a look, what to wear today, very similar to yesterday. This is one of those days, once again, where sunglasses will be a little more prevalent, and we're not going to need the umbrella. More sun today than the last couple of days. Keep that in mind as we're heading out the door here. May even have some sun glare working at us here once the sun finally does come up in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Taking a look out the door, 65 degrees. I should say 69 degrees at 6 o'clock, 75 degrees at 8 a.m. And we're back toward the 90s later on this afternoon. Here's a look at your flight cast, excuse me. Heading out toward the airport today. Maybe you have a flight at BNA, 79 degrees at 9, 93 at 3. Our weather's not going to be a problem here as far as any flight delays. We're not seeing many of them, only 7, the fewest we've seen so far this week at this hour of the morning.
Steer clear traffic for you at I-24 at Haywood Lane as you get out there from Antioch. We are doing pretty good out there on that drive. No big problems in either direction right now as you make that drive in from Antioch. We do expect traffic to tick up quite a bit here as we get towards our 6 and especially our 7 o'clock hours. But right now, we're off to a great start with no significant issues. This is I-40 at Fester's Lane, just east of downtown. The sun is starting to come up here, so you'll see these headlights disappear shortly as more and more people get out there on the roads.
Justin, thank you. 5:21 is the time right now. Leaders in Wilson County have given the green light for a new courthouse, but while everyone agrees on the need, there's still a lot of debate about how to pay for it.
All right, we're going to tell you why some believe their sacrifices for the new building might be asking too much.
And looking ahead to 5:40.
5:24 is the time. Leaders in Wilson County have voted to spend close to $84 million on a brand new courthouse there. Now, there's very little argument about why they need a new courthouse, but there's lots of needs in Wilson County. Some county commissioners are wondering where the funding for all of the needs is going to come from, and they say the answer is not going to be a popular one.
And we're also getting ready to build another school. Right after that, we're going to be building a middle school. And on the heels of that, we need to be looking at another high school. We're going to be spending a whole lot of money. And how are we going to do that? They're not revenue. We only have really one choice, and it's some sort of tax. And that's going to be on the horizon. And I don't want our employee pay to be tied to employee tax when we're building an $84 million building out of one pot of money.
Now, keep in mind, the current courthouse has been in use there in Wilson County since the late 1960s. One of the biggest problems in the current courthouse, according to the attorneys who voiced their opinion, who work there at the courthouse every day, is keeping the plaintiffs and the defendants apart, both before and after court. If you've ever just watched some of the court shows here on Fox 17, you can understand why that might be important, especially after some heated court battles.
5:25, looking at a forecast that might involve some yard work here getting in toward the weekend. Don't do it this weekend. Take advantage of a few days that aren't quite as terribly hot. I would say, though, if you need to mow, early in the day is great, right around sunrise and right around sunset. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, no rain to worry about. You can get the lawn tidied up here. Same with gardening. If you have to get out there and use the green thumb a little bit, the timing changes a touch. You have to do it in the morning or late in the day because, well, it's just not going to be good to water. If you're doing the watering here during the peak heating of the day, when we're talking about temperatures that are at 89 at noon, 93 degrees at 3 o'clock, you're going to actually hurt your plants. So let's talk about those hours we can get out there and do it. I would say right after sunrise, give it an hour or so. Sun's coming up as we speak. I would say by 7 o'clock, we're good. Even 8 and as late as 9 o'clock, it shouldn't be too bad. Then everything is in the 90s through at least 7 o'clock. Don't do it. Don't touch it. After 7 o'clock, getting close to sunset, which will be at 8:07 later today, then you'll be in much better shape. Maybe even watering twice a day, once early and once late will be good to help our plants because we're going to be near 100 leading toward the upcoming weekend.
5:27 is the time. Thank you, Greg. The Pentagon is facing military recruitment challenges, and Congress is considering some legislation that would change selective services. Now, one proposal would automatically register men for the draft when they turn 18. The House did pass the change, but the Senate Armed Services Committee has yet to consider that particular measure. The other proposal would require women to register for the draft. That measure did pass the Senate Armed Services Committee, but has not made it to the full House or Senate for their consideration. The top Republican for the Senate Armed Services Committee says that he strongly opposes the changes. The United States military has not activated the draft in more than 50 years since Vietnam. Steer clear traffic out there this morning. A quick look at I-40 at Donaldson Pike. We've got one disabled vehicle on the shoulder. We'll tell you about some other things happening around the city coming up in a few.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, Williamson County Police cracking down on dangerous driving.
Let's talk baseball. It's been more than 50 years since the Vols have played the College World Series Finals. The highlights from last night, and we're looking ahead. What a play.
The sun is coming up, but a little fog to start off your day, and then we go into a very hot pattern. Today's the first day of summer, and the weekend is going to really bring the heat.
All right, the first day of summer. Thanks so much for joining us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. Kicking off our 5:30 half hour right now, Fox 17 News getting a hold of some new information from the Williamson County Sheriff's Office after deputies cracked down on distracted driving this week.
Right now, we're checking back in with Johnny Maffey, who is live in Brentwood this morning. Johnny, how are the numbers showing how dangerous it can be? We know this, being on your phone while also trying to drive. Not a good idea.
Yeah, it's not just texting and driving, guys, but it's distracted driving. They're calling it. Actually, AAA uses the phrase intoxicated, playing off of intoxicated, of course, but it's reaching for the phones and dialing, and even changing songs can really cause a lot of accidents. So the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, they cracked down on all of this week, and they weren't alone. They worked with Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Franklin Police Department, and just on Tuesday, they issued 79 hands-free driving violations, and they pulled over a few dozen other people for things like speeding, and it actually led to a drug arrest too. Now AAA does give us some of those numbers showing how dangerous things can be. More than 3,500 people die every year. That averages about 10 a day from distracted driving. And another thing we are learning is 362,000 people a year are injured from distracted driving. As for the new drivers, well, teens on the road who text and drive increase their chance of crashing 23 times. That's according to the National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration. So officials are reminding adults, if you have kids in the car, whether it's a current teen driver or, well, all kids are going to be future drivers, don't just teach them those rules of the roads, but also be a good example when you're behind the wheel. Live this morning in Brentwood, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
It's all good information, Johnny. Thank you so much. And Erica mentioned it just a moment ago. Today is the first day of summer. Already looks hot and hazy out there, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The summer solstice is taking place today, and we're already in for some really hot weather, okay?
Yeah.
We were talking about, you came from Arizona, I came here from South Florida, so we're pretty acclimated to the heat.
We are, but what's hot to you? You know, some of you might be moving here from Northern California or the Northeast, maybe New York. So we're curious, or would you say that you have gotten used to the Nashville heat yet? So for me coming here, let's see, gosh, it's been 11 years ago from Arizona where we had the dry heat. Moving back here to the East Coast, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia, but moving back to the humidity was hard for me.
Whereas I'm born and raised in South Carolina, so humidity is the name of the game
Yeah.
in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
I took advantage of having so many good hair days when we lived in Arizona. No, ladies, you know what we
You
mean.
still have good hair days.
61% of you right now say, I grew up here, so you're pretty used to it. You can sound off now, scan that QR code right now, and let us know what you think.
Greg, what do you think? Are you acclimated?
I grew up in the armpit of the country, as we call it.
The armpit of the country?
Yeah, just south of Lake Michigan and the Great Lakes, where you can have 95 and humid in the summer and get 4 feet of lake effect snow in the winter. It's kind of that point where it's always kind of damp and it can get hot or it can get cold. So heat, snow, throw it at me, you know. But I love it all. It's kind of why I'm doing what I do.
He likes armpits.
Wow.
Don't put that into the universe. We're going to rewind that one a little bit. Hot, first day of summer. Heat and humidity are on the rise, and this is going to be the hotter time that we've seen, or hottest time so far this season. We've already had some days that have flirted with 100 degrees. We'll be close to that on Saturday and Sunday. Limited rain chances until then. Might squeeze in a shower tomorrow or Saturday, but don't bank on rain at any point here. This is not a dynamic forecast when it comes to moisture availability, meaning the possibility of just having rain come down. We're staying rain-free this morning. The only impact to your morning drive could be a few areas of some patchy fog and plenty of sunshine to kick off the day. Right side of your screen, we're in the 60s and 70s on our way to the low to middle 90s this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic at 5:35. Here's a quick look here at what we're dealing with as we have just picked up a construction project that's running a little longer than they anticipated. This is going to be I-24 at the Shelbyville Highway out there in Murfreesboro. So it was situations like this that weren't happening earlier in the week when Bonnaroo was taking place down in Manchester. They wanted to make sure that all lanes were open, but now that Bonnaroo is over, they've gotten the lanes back out there closed, 2 of them, as you head towards the city of Murfreesboro this morning. So heads up, it is causing a significant slowdown back behind it by several miles. You want to use Highway 41 if you can to steer clear. Unknown when they're going to pick up the cones and get this out of the way, but it is running slow there as you try to get into Murfreesboro. We're going to continue to keep an eye on this and let you know about any other delays, but right now that's about it. This is I-40 at Dawson Pike. The cavalry has arrived trying to help out this one gentleman stuck in his car there on the shoulder near the airport, but no impact on your drive.
Justin, thank you. Let's talk about sports. The Vols taking down Florida State over in Omaha, and now the Vols are back in the World Series finals, if we're counting, for the first time since back in 1951. My mom told me this because she's a FSU graduate.
Well, a lot of people are counting, to your point.
Yes.
So let's take a look at the highlights from last night. Top of the first, Vols with 2 on, and Hunter Ensley is going to come up. There's a Florida State coach who was not too happy. Ensley with a line drive. Vols go up 2-0. In the bottom of the first, watch this. What another play at the wall. I mean, we had one the other day. Watch here. Outfielder Kavaris Tears crashes hard into the wall there, still able to come up with a catch. That is twice now that we've had a play at the wall like that for Tennessee and still coming up with a huge catch. Fourth inning, Christian Moore would send one down the line. That's a triple. That makes it 5-0 Tennessee.
Ooh, Vols don't stop there. Ninth inning, Blake Burke with a cherry on top. Vols starting pitcher Xander Seacrest allowed just 2 earned runs in 6 innings. Vols ultimately, though, take down Florida State 7-2. They're now advancing to the College World Series finals.
Yes. It is exciting. The top-ranked Vols are going to play number 3 Texas A&M after the Aggies shut out Florida yesterday 6-0. It's a 3-game championship, so best of 3, and it starts Saturday. I'm excited to watch some college baseball this weekend.
Absolutely. Well, just ahead here on Fox 17 News, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. missing the mark to participate in next week's presidential debate. How he fell short.
And later this hour,
Let's talk about politics. Independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He is not going to be qualifying for next week's presidential debate between Biden and former President Donald Trump. Well, Kennedy claims that he is on enough statewide ballots to earn 270 electoral votes. According to the Washington Post, though, he's only on enough ballots to go ahead and earn 100 electoral votes. He would also have had to earn 15% support in 4 national polls before midnight last night, which he failed to do. So again, keep in mind, former President Donald Trump and President Biden having their debate next week. It's going to be in Atlanta.
let's see how the forecast is shaping up. Other than it being hot, Greg, just curious, do we have any chances for pop-up showers or storms?
Not today. No.
Okay.
No, unfortunately, no real relief. Honestly, it'll be the sunniest day so far this week, so the UV index will be at its highest, meaning within 10 minutes you can get a sunburn. That's the kind of day we've got ahead of us. So if the golf game is part of what you have going on today, making it early morning tee time, or I would just put the clubs back in the bag, put them back in the garage or wherever you store them and just call it a day. 89 by noon, 93 degrees by 3 o'clock. With that UV index, again, a 10-minute sunburn is all it's going to take for you. And the muggy meter's going up, too. We're going to feel like we're in the mid-90s later on this afternoon, and we only get hotter and more humid from here. We'll talk about that for your weekend in the next check of your forecast.
Let's get to your steer clear traffic as you get out there this morning. This is going to be I-24 at Shelbyville Highway out there in Murfreesboro. That is where we've got 2 lanes shut down because of some overnight construction that is happening. Now, this is not the first time we've seen this out there. They've shut down lanes before for work being done out here near Shelbyville Highway. Joe B. Jackson, not too far away from here, and they've got a couple of lanes shut down. It is slowing things down. Let me show it to you here on the maps here. You can see where I-24 is right there, and right where it meets 231 for the slowdown. You can try to use Highway 41 there. It's the best way to steer clear until you get around it. We'll have more details soon.
Justin, thanks. 5:42 is your time right now. And as tourists flock to Nashville, hotels and other groups are working on how to handle Nashville breaking records when it comes to tourism. Just when you thought maybe we were starting to, level out. No, things are still growing here in Nashville.
Always. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live in downtown Nashville talking about all the records. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, that's right. They continue to break records here, topping $10.5 billion in tourism revenue just last year. And that's according to the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. And on top of that, they actually are increasing a nearly 6% from 2022, coupled with a 4% increase in visitors, which climbed to 16.8 million people here in Nashville. But they aren't just coming to Nashville, they're spending more when they do. And on top of those records, visitors are also coming for more than just leisure travel. Cvent named Nashville the 3rd most popular destination for meetings in 2023. Now, preparing to handle all of this growth of tourism, Nashville is starting to craft plans to meet expansion. There are already 2,000 hotel rooms under construction and 13,000 in the planned pipeline, according to the Nashville CVC. And that's on top of the 40,000 hotels Nashville already has in use. But the question now is, can they sustain this influx of tourists? Well, today the CVC plans to announce their strategic tourism plan. They say that they admit that it has been more than 2 years in the making and has taken input from nearly 100 community leaders. When we learn more about this strategic tourism plan, we'll be sure to keep you all updated. For now, live here on Broadway, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Well, we've been mentioning it this morning. It is the first day of summer, and we now have the first named storm of the hurricane season.
Fox's Amy Kiley looks at that, plus other weather concerns across the country.
It doesn't take a meteorologist to know the weather is brutal on this first day of summer.
I love the breeze. It feels nice. I was just dunking my face in a bucket of water.
There's a little pool over there, so we dunk her paws in when she looks like she's getting a little too hot.
Parts of the Midwest and Northeast are under heat alerts today.
Once we're done with testing our pumps, we figured it'd be a great opportunity for the kids to come out.
High temperatures are causing air quality problems and other health concerns. New York reports a 72% rise in recent heat-related ER visits. Animals are at risk too.
It can be very difficult for them to regulate their body temperature.
Meanwhile, the Gulf Coast is soaked from Tropical Storm Alberto. It's behind waterspouts, floods, and disaster declarations in more than 50 Texas counties.
The water's up to the dunes right now, so it's definitely not safe to be out on the beaches currently.
Surrounding states are coping with high waters, too. The rain is good for fighting wildfires in New Mexico, but scorched land and storms are a dangerous combination. Here's a Ruidoso River that jumped over 6 feet in 15 minutes. Floods there are yet another worry for those escaping the deadly fires.
Now where do we go? Because I'm pretty confident we're not going to go back to Ruidoso.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
You know, Ruidoso, our meteorologist Brett Luna was talking about his memories and experiences there in New Mexico involving the Ruidoso, and that's really sad to see. But also, we're just going to take a moment here to take issue with Amy. Amy said it doesn't take a meteorologist to tell you. But you know what? But it does.
And a very good one.
That's right.
And, well, otherwise, you just don't know what's coming your way.
Greg, you're our guy. We're going to defend you tooth and nail, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. And you know what?
Take that, Amy.
Here's the thing, too, that think about this one. Ponder this one. You also come to the meteorologist for astronomy, geology.
Yes.
So like volcanoes, earthquakes.
Just don't come to Greg for astrology.
We've got you covered.
Okay.
Why are you going to bring that up?
He doesn't deal with it.
What's your sign?
You went there, not me.
But so let's cover some astronomy. Here we go. We have a full moon that's going to happen tomorrow, and I'll give you a little science tidbit with it as well. Full moon happens tomorrow night. Great viewing, first of all, because it's happening right when we have the summer solstice, when the sun is the highest point up in the sky. We're going to have one of our lowest full moons in years. What that means is it's going to be bigger. It's going to appear bigger and brighter. It's called the moon illusion. When the moon, or even the sun, think about it, when the sun's way up and you look up at it, not directly at it, but you know what I mean. It looks smaller. When it gets toward the horizon, it looks bigger. It's an optical illusion. So the moon will look much bigger for us here. As far as rain chances go, none of them today or tomorrow. We'll look for a raindrop, but more so a surge in heat coming up in the next check of your forecast in about 5 minutes from right now.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to Murfreesboro. That's where we're following construction that's leading to delays. This is going to be I-24 near Shelbyville Highway there in Murfreesboro. And it looks like this for several miles, by the way. So it's not just this one spot. It runs all the way back towards Joe B. Jackson there as you come into the city of Murfreesboro. Justin, where are you talking about? Let me show you here, right here on the map, so we can get a good idea. Here's Highway 41 right there. It runs into the city of Murfreesboro. This is just to the south and east of it. So as you're coming on in from places like Christiana and all of that, you're having to deal with this. If you're well north of this, towards 840, you're fine. If you're on the other side of Highway 231 right here, you're okay. Medical Center Parkway, all of that up there, you're not having to deal with this. It's just those back behind it there. You could try to take 41 into town and then get around it that way.
Well, trending over on Fox17.com, all public schools in Louisiana will now be the first in the country to display the 10 Commandments in the classrooms. Republican Governor Jeff Landry signed this bill into law yesterday. The law will impact all schools receiving state funding from kindergarten through college. Now listen, the poster must be at least 11 by 14 inches and focused on the 10 Commandments. Now many civil liberty groups announcing plans to sue Louisiana in response to this law, again signed yesterday. They argue it violates the First Amendment by promoting one religion over others.
5:52, and here at home, get ready, Hopkinsville. The Western Kentucky State Fair is coming up. We'll tell you how, no matter where you live around here, you can start the summer fair season off right.
Ooh, those tasty foods there.
Yeah.
And a new law aims at making nuclear reactors easier to build and less disruptive to their surroundings.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with
5:55 is the time, and right now Fox 17 News showing you a hot and hazy sunrise shot over downtown Nashville. Today is the first official day of summer. I know folks are wondering, wait, it's already hot.
Right.
Summer is today. Yes, it kicks off this afternoon, I believe around 3:50. Is that what Greg said?
That's correct.
All right. So we're going to have your full forecast and really help you plan ahead for a very hot first weekend of summer.
Summer's here, so you know what that means. We've got all the fairs that are ramping up happening tomorrow. The Western Kentucky State Fair returns to Hopkinsville. This is their 73rd year of the events, the exhibits, the rides, the competitions, and of course, the food.
The funnel cakes. It's just $3 to get in, but you also have to buy your tickets for each ride, and most of the fair is cash only. The fairground is over at 2810 Richards Street. Gates open at 5 p.m. Friday night. If you can't make it tomorrow, though, don't worry. The fair runs all next week through Saturday, the 29th.
5:56 your time right now, and taking a look, I mentioned the possibility of trying to find a raindrop. Let's do it. Let's just see if we have any possibility between now and the end of the weekend. Today is just not going to be one of those days where anything in the atmosphere even has a shot of giving us some rain. A couple of clouds will be out there, but mainly going to be sunny and very hot here. It's going to feel like we're in the mid-90s again. Taking a look, going into tomorrow, might be enough of a kickstart during the afternoon. You can see here it's 2 p.m. for an isolated rain shower or two. Very, very few and far between, if anything even develops. So this is how we're going to be for your Friday and your Saturday. Plan on it being dry, plan on it being hot, and plan on it being humid. The increase in humidity here Saturday at 5 p.m. gives us that chance to see 1 or 2 pop-ups, but it's not going to be anything widespread. Today, 96 dry degrees. We're heating up. The UV index is in the extreme category. You can get a sunburn in about 10 minutes of exposure outside. It's the highest it's been so far this week. We'll carry into your weekend as we go into our 6 o'clock half hour.
Let's get to steer clear traffic. One thing to point out on I-24 at Shelbyville Highway, this is where we're dealing with a bit of a slowdown here because of construction that is ongoing now. We're unsure when they're going to pick up the cones and let things go. Typically, it's around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. So as we're coming up on the 6 o'clock hour, we'll see the trucks perhaps here start to pick up the cones to let that traffic go. But until they do, it's going to be a slow go as you come into the city of Murfreesboro from all points south. So if you're waking up this morning in places like Manchester and Christiana, you know you've got to use I-24 to get into Murfreesboro this morning. This is the drive ahead of you. You can try to use Highway 41 to steer clear, but continue to watch it.
Justin, thank you. Here's the story making headlines this morning. The Senate has approved a bipartisan bill that will create more nuclear power in the U.S. intended to make building nuclear reactors easier, faster, and less expensive.
Well, this particular act makes it easier to get permits. It also encourages production of small nuclear reactors, which provide less energy, but also take up less space. It's interesting, though, because Bill Gates is building his TerraPower project over in Wyoming. That includes small reactors, which could finish by 2030. This act, though, will now head to President Biden's desk, where he is expected to go ahead and sign it.
Hey, usually fine wine gets better with age, kind of like us.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to. But, you know, you don't want to drink the one we're about to tell you about. Scientists discovered the world's oldest wine in Spain. The age, 2,000 years old.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. We'll tell you why. It was sealed in a tomb that a family discovered in 2019 when having work done to their home. The wine, though, was in a glass funeral urn. Why would you open that, though?
Wow. Apparently, it was a white wine at one point and also had an interesting ingredient. You know, Erica mentioned it was in an urn. It had a few ashes mixed in.
Yeah, Burying people with items that might help them in the afterlife was common during the Roman Empire. So researchers, they published some of their information in the Journal of Archaeological Science. But if I find an urn at my house, I'm not opening it.
Also, I hate to tell you this, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but I don't think wine's going to help you in the afterlife. Just
no, it's a wrap, literally. Hey, 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a man is charged with attempted homicide after police say he shot at his ex-girlfriend's car. His ex had other people in the car at the time. We'll get those details in minutes.
And a man charged after attacking a police officer and a nurse practitioner. How he went from a patient to a man in custody.
We're also talking about officers and deputies in Williamson County cracking down on people using their phones behind the wheel. We'll tell you about the operation and the numbers that they got.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 17 News This Morning here on this Thursday. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started this Thursday morning with some updates from Antioch. An Antioch man is now charged with attempted homicide. Look at this map. Metro Police say Antonio Mason fired 6 to 7 rounds towards his ex-girlfriend's car on Tuesday. 2 teenagers, though, were inside that car.
Right. So this was at Mason's apartment complex, which is on Apache Trail. You can see this is just south of I-24 at Haywood Lane. Apparently, the ex-girlfriend was at his place to talk about stuff he had left at her house, and that's when police say the shots got fired, 3 bullet holes in that woman's car. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. Mason is charged with, as we mentioned, attempted homicide, but also aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Well, officers and deputies teaming up this week to crack down on distracted driving in Williamson County. Right now, we have a reporter talking about that.
Yeah, our Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey been looking into this operation, telling us about the results. Good morning. Live.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So Williamson County Sheriff deputies were not alone. They worked with Franklin Police as well as Tennessee Highway Patrol to crack down on using your phone behind the wheel. They were also looking out for speeding and other things as well. And well, what we learned was 79 people got pulled over for using their phones behind the wheel for distracted driving, and they also pulled over 3 people for speeding. It also even led to a drug arrest as well. So quite the busy Tuesday. Again, this was just all back on Tuesday of this week, this operation. So other things that you need to know surrounding this story. Well, just this year, the punishments did become worse for driving distracted in Tennessee. People under the age of 18 will get 7 points for a second offense, which is enough to have their license suspended for up to a year. And anyone 18 or older will get 4 points for a first or second offense and 5 points on their license for a third offense. Now we're going to check back in at 6:30 right here on Fox 17 and talk about some of the dangerous numbers we're learning involving distracted driving, not just here in Tennessee, but across the country, and also how the teens can play into this and make sure they're being safe as well. Live this morning in Brentwood, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Right now, we're checking in with our Code Red meteorologist. First day of summer. It's going to be a hot one. It already looks just steamy outside.
Yeah, a little fog, little orange sunrise because of that here. It's almost looks like, the sun's on fire already. It's going to heat us up real quick later. The weather story, hotter every day now through the end of the upcoming weekend. And this could be the first time we've hit 100 degrees since August of last year. Now, that happened, but between August and the time before that was a decade worth of time we did not hit 100 degrees. We do not get that mark that often. 90? No, we eclipse that about 50 times a year. 100, though, is fairly rare for us. No rain chances for the next few days that are substantial. We talked about a few little pop-ups tomorrow or Saturday. Really can't count on any of that to develop, and if it does, it's not going to be anything substantial. So far this month, all the orange boxes for our calendar show days that have been above average. Almost the entire month is at a high temperature that's been above where it's supposed to be, and the next 6 days will follow that suit. You can see it right here. The yellow line being where our average temps are supposed to be. Well, today's going to be 96, tomorrow 98, 100 Saturday and Sunday, Monday 98 and 97 on Tuesday. Right now, you're in the 60s and 70s, and watch out for a few patches of fog to kick off your Thursday.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to Murfreesboro. That's where we've been following the bulk of our activity over the last few moments. We've got 2 lanes shut down because of overnight construction happening out there, and it is causing things to slow down in Rutherford County. What you can do is try to use Highway 41 to steer clear of it because it's going to be with us for a little while longer here. Unknown when they're going to start to pick up the cones out there, but it's shrinking things down. What would normally be 4 lanes right here is down to 2, and it's not just here. It extends further back. Let me show you what I'm talking about. As we get to our traffic map here, you can see where the slowdown begins right here on Highway 231, but it drags all the way down towards Joe B. Jackson. Best way to steer clear is using 41 to get into town. Yes, I know there's stoplights and subdivisions and all of that all along Highway 41, but still could be a better bet, at least for you so far.
Justin, thank you. 6:05 right now. Operation Crime and Justice. A repeat offender now charged again, this time attacking a nurse practitioner and police officer at TriStar Centennial Medical Center.
Yeah, so police say Arturo Morris was a hospital patient who tried leaving the emergency room. Well, a police officer and a nurse practitioner, they tried stopping him. But that's when officers say that Morris resisted, hurting both of them. Court records also show Morris is, yes, a repeat offender who previously has been charged with robbery and attempted first-degree murder. Bail reform advocates say it is yet another example of necessary changes.
The issue of low bond and repeat offenders is a subject that we've covered for months extensively. Tonight, we have local leaders and advocates who are coming together. They're hosting something called a bail reform panel, and this will include judges and the district attorney. If you want more information on that, you can visit our website, fox17.com.
6:06 is the time. Leaders in Wilson County have given the green light for a new courthouse. But while everyone agrees on the need, there is still a big debate about how to pay for this.
All right, yeah, that's always the question, right? How much is it going to cost and who's going to pay for it? We'll tell you why.
6:09 is the time, and it's official. Wilson County has voted to spend close to $84 million on a brand new courthouse. There's very little argument about why a brand new courthouse could be needed there in Wilson County, but there's lots of needs across Wilson County. They also need brand new schools out there, and some people are wondering, where's the funding going to actually come from? One county commissioner says the answer to that question is not going to be popular.
My understanding is it will have to be property tax. It will not be a wheel tax if we have to raise it to build a school or something like that. I know I got all these lawyers and judges and people, so I'll probably be in jail before I get home tonight. So I just want to give my last testimony here before I leave. But we can't afford this building without a property tax coming.
Now, keep in mind that they have voted to go ahead and try to build this $84 million brand new building, unknown exactly when it could be open. We can tell you this. The current courthouse there in Wilson County has been used since the late 1960s. I just looked this up. The population in Wilson County at that point, in the late 1960s, was less than 40,000 people. Today, the population, 158,000 and growing. Supreme Court justices are due to go into summer recess coming up in the next few days and not return until October. In the meantime, the White House is bracing for the United States Supreme Court to rule on yet another historic case on abortion. This one focuses on whether or not federal law can provide emergency care that can override any state abortion ban. The Biden administration sued the state of Idaho, which allows exemptions to abortion when the life of the mother is at risk. The administration argued that federal law requires the state to allow an abortion if it is needed to stabilize a patient, even when the mother's condition is not yet life-threatening. The High Court's decision could yield the most significant ruling on abortion since the Roe versus Wade reversal just a few years ago, 2 years ago to be exact. Let's check in with Greg. He's got a look at the forecast here.
That we do, and it's all heat and humidity. Oh, look at that. It just looks hot outside this morning. We're going to talk about how high we're going to go here on this first day of summer.
Live look from the International Space Station or something. That was interesting. Here's I-24 at Shelbyville Highway in Murfreesboro. That's where we're dealing with slow traffic, not because of a crash, but because of construction. We'll tell you how to get around.
Good morning. Right now in Operation Crime and Justice, there is a manhunt underway in Arkansas for a murder suspect who is believed to be armed and dangerous.
Yeah, and police say this guy has been making the rounds. So follow with us here. Arkansas State Police say 50-year-old Stacy Drake is from Alabama. He's accused of killing 3 people in 2 separate carjackings in Oklahoma. Now, one of the cars linked to Mr. Drake there was later found at a motel in Arkansas. Okay, so that's why we've got Arkansas State Police involved. He is wanted on several warrants from other jurisdictions for things like robbery, murder, and carjacking. So Arkansas State Police just putting the word out, trying to get especially, states in maybe the Midwest and the Mid-South on alert for this man.
Well, back here in the mid-state, Nashville is breaking records. No surprise here when it comes to tourism. And yeah, it's still growing. It's never stopping.
This makes me think about the time a couple years ago whenever we had estimates that 100 people were moving here per day on top of the tourists. Now, things have changed a little bit, but still seeing that growth in the It City.
Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan is live downtown this morning talking about those records and, Madeline, the next steps.
That's right. There is a huge headway in tourism compared to those previous pre-pandemic numbers. They're topping $10.5 billion in tourism revenue, and that's from just last year, according to the National Convention and Visitors Corporation. Now, that's nearly a 6% increase from 2022 as well, coupled with a 4% increase in visitors, which climbed to a record 16.8 million people. But people aren't just coming to Nashville, they are spending more when they do. Preparing to handle this growth of tourism, Nashville is starting to craft plans to meet the tourism expansion. There are already 2,000 hotel rooms under construction and 13,000 in the planned pipeline, according to Nashville CVC. And that's on top of the 40,000 hotel rooms Nashville already has in use. But the question now is, can they sustain this influx of tourists? Well, today the CVC plans to release their strategic tourism plan. They said that it has been 2 years in the making, and it has taken a lot of input from more than 100 community leaders. Now, when we get more information on this strategic tourism plan, we'll be sure to update you all. For now, live here on Broadway this morning, Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Madeline, thank you. Today is the first day of summer, and right now we're taking a live look over at Galveston, Texas. This is where the impacts of Alberto, this year's first named tropical storm, are currently hitting the beach. That's why you don't see a lot of folks out there right now. Yeah. A lot of high waves already impacting this area.
Right now, let's take a look at some of the video from Matagorda County, where water flooded homes and roads. The National Hurricane Center saying that yesterday, Alberto was packing maximum sustained winds of about 40 miles an hour. That's not a gust, that is sustained. Authorities do expect the storm is going to make landfall in northern Mexico today. As much as 20 inches of rain could fall in some parts of Mexico, which could lead to mudslides and flash flooding.
Now, back here at home, we are tracking triple-digit numbers, potentially heading into a hot weekend.
Yeah, and I want to stress, I'm going to show the map of where Alberto's at. It's not going to impact our weather back home at all.
Okay, good.
If anything else, it's taken away a lot of the moisture from the Gulf that we would typically get to give us rain. So the only impact will be just going to be hotter. So not a rain influence, not a wind influence. Sometimes when these take those right turns and come up on the Gulf Coast here in the U.S., we can get a lot of that excess moisture. We got none of it. So you can see where it's swirling right here. Tropical storm again, Alberto. We have the 50-mile-per-hour wind speed here. Quite a bit of rain coming down, and then this is the southern edge of Texas. So you can see Houston down toward the Mexico border, and most of the impact going to be felt down in Mexico, but there definitely is still a decent impact to the coastal areas of Texas. Taking a look back home, still look. This is the look of, shall I walk or shall I not? It's too hot. I'm not quite sure. Our dog of the day, Peach, sent in by Brittany from Nolensville, and I would just say, yeah, we've been talking about it every day. It's kind of like a broken record when we're talking about when to get outside, because the morning hours are going to always trump the afternoon hours when it comes to the better times to work through everything. Sun is already up. You're going to have it the entire day. That sun is going to almost be dangerous to your skin. 10 minutes and you get a burn. Sidewalk. 1 or 2 minutes of constant pressure on the ground for paws or hands, you can start getting some burn going on, because that's going to be 125 degrees right in the middle of the afternoon. I would avoid noon through 4 p.m. to go outside for a dog walk. Again, they've got to do their business occasionally. Make it a quick in and out if you can. 96 degrees this afternoon, right side of your screen. We're in the 60s and 70s. A few patches of fog out there right now in the upcoming weekend. A pair of 100-degree temperatures in Nashville for Saturday and Sunday.
Let's get into your steer clear traffic. We continue to follow the big slowdown coming in from the Murfreesboro area. This is going to be 24 here at Shelbyville Highway there in Murfreesboro. 2 lanes shut down out there because of overnight construction that has hung with us here for a little while. So heads up as you make that drive in. I would suggest trying to use Highway 41 if you can. That's going to be your best way to steer clear. If not, it's going to be slow as the slowdown runs back several miles here down towards Joe B. Jackson. 41 is still doing well there into the city. It's unknown exactly when all that construction will finally clear up, but we are watching it. This is I-40 towards the airport there near Dallas and Pike back here in Metro Nashville. Doing okay here in the city itself. A lot of traffic over there in that far lane getting off headed towards the airport.
Justin, thank you. At 6:19, we have an update this morning as some crew members of the Dolly cargo ship will now be allowed to go home nearly 3 months after that ship hit Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge. Now, them being able to leave the ship is part of a deal between attorneys for the city of Baltimore and the owner and manager of the Dolly. That entire crew has been on that ship since the March 26th disaster, which killed 6 construction workers. Baltimore filed a legal claim against the owner and manager of the Dolly and is seeking damages from both companies. According to yesterday's court filing, part of this deal, allowing those crew members to leave, includes a guarantee that they will all be available for court statements later this year.
Live golf in Nashville this weekend, but let's talk about the PGA Tour because Tiger Woods has earned access to the PGA Tour for life. The tour announcing the special sponsor exemption based on Tiger Woods' quote, exceptional lifetime achievement. Woods is an 82-time winner on the PGA Tour, but since his injuries from a car wreck in 2021, he's not playing enough to qualify for some events. The 48-year-old has won, by the way, 15 majors, so I think it's safe to say he's earned this spot.
Also, watch out for his son, who is currently coming up through the ranks.
Good point.
Still to come, one Nashville SC player able to seal a win in Toronto. We'll tell you the highlights from last night and show you what's next on the schedule here at home at Geodis Park.
And I mentioned it, this year's U.S. Open champion is going to be in Nashville for Live Golf. We're going to tell you what he had to tell us about the golf tournament this weekend.
Thanks so much for waking up with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. A unique live look over
6:24 is the time. Nashville SC skipping out of Toronto last night with a last-minute win up there, and it was a very sweet win in particular as it's getting a couple of goals from Sam Surridge, we understand.
Yeah, one of our strikers here. Toronto did score in the 34th minute, but about a half an hour later, Surridge would deliver. He ties up the match at 1, and then he's going to make a tough shot in the 90th minute.
That's Toronto getting on the board right there.
No tie for the boys in gold, just a win. They're going to return from the road playing New York City Saturday night here at home at Geodis Park.
Yeah, they were able to get that win there 2-1 over Toronto. So looking ahead to this weekend, Nashville is hosting its first ever Live Golf Tournament, and that includes a hero's welcome for this man right here, the 2024 U.S. champion, Bryson DeChambeau, who was able to come home with that big trophy. He brought that U.S. Open trophy with him here when he arrived in Nashville.
Nashville, by the way, the 9th tournament on Liv's 14-event schedule, expected to be one of the loudest tournaments of the year. And when we talk about loud, we mean in part because of the live music that's part of Live. Let's listen to Bryson when he was asked about how he's going to contribute to that excitement here in Nashville.
More great shots, more exciting, thrilling, amazing shots. And, you know, I gotta recover and get ready for Friday. Certainly it's been a whirlwind for me and a lot of adrenaline going through my body the past few days. There's going to be a adrenaline dump here in the next day probably, and I gotta get myself back up and ready for Friday.
Now, in case you've never watched Live Golf on TV or in person, completely different from any PGA event you've ever witnessed. Bright colors, loud music. It's like a big party.
Yeah, they also play a different style as well. They play 54 holes, and there's no cut. Okay, so if you are following one of your favorite players and you're wondering, are they going to make the cut? Yeah, everybody makes the cut.
All right, so let's see how the forecast is shaping up here. Yes, we've got, things we'll monitor for the Live Golf Tournament. But first, let's talk about the Western Kentucky State Fair. We were mentioning it just a little bit ago. It does kick off tomorrow in Hopkinsville, and it goes through next week. So thanks to Greg, we've got this fun new little graphic for you to show you how things are shaping up for the fair. 93 degrees Friday on the opening day, Saturday 95, and Sunday 96. Now, you'll notice Greg does not have 100 in the forecast for Hopkinsville. Going to be a little bit cooler up there in southern Kentucky. So enjoy yourself. Make sure you stay hydrated and have a good time.
Steer clear traffic. Who's having a better time? Let me tell you who. The folks on I-24, because they're picking up the cones at long last and freeing up 2 lanes that have been shut down throughout the night as they've been doing overnight constructions. You can see the crews right there with the police department in front of them, picking up those cones, putting them away, and as soon as they do, it reopens the other 2 lanes here. So this is going to run from 24 back towards Joe B. Jackson. You're in much better shape now getting into the city. We'll be watching some other things here in Nashville coming up over the next few minutes.
We go to Williamson County this morning, where police have been cracking down on distracted drivers, and they already have results. We'll share them with you.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning, 6:30 right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, an event more than 50 years in the making for Tennessee baseball. The highlights from the Vols overnight, and we look ahead to their schedule for the weekend.
And we're also looking ahead to this weekend in triple-digit temperatures. Well, the potential for some. We'll also talk about slight rain chances, just slight ones, coming up in your full forecast.
And steer clear traffic still picking up the cones there in Murfreesboro, but things are getting better all the time. We're going to tell you about any backup this has caused and the best way to steer clear.
Thanks so much for starting your Thursday with us on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
The first day of summer, I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started this Thursday morning taking you to Williamson County because they are getting some new numbers from the Williamson County Sheriff's Office after deputies cracked down on distracted driving earlier this week.
Right, so we've had a chance to look at the numbers and the impact there for Williamson County. We have Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey joining us now with that update.
Just on Tuesday, Williamson County Sheriff deputies along with Franklin PD officers and the Tennessee Highway Patrol pulled over more than 100 people. 79 of those were for hands-free driving violations. They also grabbed a few people for speeding, and it also led to a drug arrest, all in an effort to try to keep those roads safer and remind people to keep their eyes on the road. Now, according to AAA, distracted driving kills more than 3,500 people a year and injures another 362,000 people a year. Now, that averages out to 10 deaths per day. As for new drivers, the teens on the road who text and drive increase their chance of crashing 23 times, according to the National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration. So officials not only using this to try to make those roads safer, but also as a reminder for adults, if you have kids in the car, whether they're current drivers or future drivers, not only to teach them the rules of the road, but be a good example as well. In Brentwood, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Johnny, thank you. I mentioned it a couple of moments ago. It is the first day of summer, well, officially, 3:50 this afternoon. The summer solstice is going to be happening.
I know you might be thinking, it already feels like summer, but we're talking meteorological summer that does kick off this afternoon. And so, Erica and I were both talking this morning about the fact that, when we moved to Nashville, we both came from hot climates.
Absolutely.
Erica had the heat and humidity in Miami.
Correct.
And I had the dry heat of the desert Southwest. So we were curious, have you acclimated to the Nashville heat? Are you used to it yet? And we gave some answer options here being, I grew up here, somewhat used to the heat, or I'm brand new to it. And looks like we got a lot of locals who responded in our Twitter question, because 62% of you say you grew up here. So I guess you could say you're used to it.
Okay. Okay. Well, as we kick off the first day of summer, go ahead and let us know what you think by heading to our social media pages. Meanwhile, our Code Red meteorologist, he says he's from the armpits of the country, so he's okay.
Yeah.
You know what, Greg, I have to tell you something. It's funny because you were describing your version of the armpit of America.
Yeah.
When we lived in Arizona, the armpit was considered Yuma, Arizona.
How come?
Well,
just
details we probably wouldn't go into here. But just, I think it's all about perspective.
A lot of armpits.
and a lot of country, and you're right, a lot of perspectives. Where you live, it just kind of gives you a feeling. You get these little monikers you use. As far as we're going with today, yes, first day of summer, limited rain chances. There's no rain in the forecast today. Now, all eyes on the weekend for Saturday and Sunday. We could be aiming for 2 days in a row that could hit 100 degrees. We did it last August, and before then, we had not done it for a decade. Doesn't happen all that often. But when it does happen, it is very noticeable because this time around, we're going to have the possibility of not just that, but the humidity could make it feel as hot as 105 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. Visibility is getting better. I've been watching this map behind the scenes. It's kind of a boring map, and I wanted to make sure it didn't get any worse, but the colors are going away, which means visibility is getting better now that our sun is up. Our temperatures, though, are not going to get better. They're going to get worse. 96 this afternoon, 98 tomorrow, and right near 100 Saturday and Sunday. Plenty more to unpack for the upcoming weekend. And we'll also talk about pollen counts in a few.
Steer clear traffic as you get out there this morning. Let's get to I-24 at Joe B. Jackson Parkway. So we were showing you the camera at 24 Shelbyville Highway a short time ago, and crews picking up the cones over there after some overnight construction. And they did pick up those cones, and traffic is doing a lot better. But back behind it, they haven't quite gotten there yet, and traffic is still backed up, not just here, but all the way back a little bit further down towards Elam as well. So heads up if you're still making that drive in from, say, Manchester or Christiana, places like that. The traffic is still going to be slow for you as you get into town this morning. You can try to take Highway 41 to steer clear. This could be Vietnam Vets at Conference Drive in Sumner County. Things congested up there for you, but nothing out of the ordinary. You can still get by. No major crashes as you come down from Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, Gallatin, and beyond.
6:35 right now. We love talking baseball around here, especially when it comes to our local teams, and the Tennessee Vols taking on Florida State and taking them down in Omaha. So that means the Vols are back in the World Series finals for the first time since 1951.
But who's counting? We are. Top of the first, Vols with 2 on. Hunter Inslee with a line drive. Vols up 2-0. We're going to get to the highlights here in the bottom of the first. Here we go. Vols outfielder Kavares Tears crashes hard into the wall and still able to come up with a catch. We're going to get there, I promise. 4th inning.
Here it is.
Here we go. Christian Moore sends it down the line for a triple to make it 5-0 Tennessee. Ooh,
there's
Vols,
Kavares.
Yeah, Vols, they don't stop there, though. 9th inning, Blake Burke with the cherry on top.
All right, so a lot of highlights. We understand Kavares Tears is okay. He's the second outfielder to crash into the wall like that. It's funny, I saw somebody say, you know, out there in Omaha, they make buildings to withstand tornadoes, but the Vols, at some point before this is said and done, are going to take out that wall. So just kind of a neat little point of reference there. So exciting stuff as the Vols take down Florida State. The final 7-2, they advance to the College World Series finals. So what's next? Well, they're going to play number 3 seed Texas A&M. The Aggies shut out Florida yesterday 6-0. This is going to be a good matchup.
3-game championship series is going to begin on Saturday. We'll be watching.
Yeah, we will. Hey, 6:37 right now. Big changes to the draft could be coming. And we're not talking about sports. We're talking about 6:39 right now. Our country is having a hard time getting enough men and women to sign up for the military. Now, the reasons for that, a long list, okay? But there are recruitment challenges. And so Congress right now is considering legislation that would change the selective services system.
So one proposal would automatically register men for the draft when they turn 18 years old. The House passed those changes, and then the Senate Armed Services Committee has yet to take a look at them at this particular moment. The other proposal would require women to register for the draft. That's something they have not done in the past. That measure did pass the Senate Armed Services Committee, but has not made it to the House or the Senate for a full vote.
U.S. military, by the way, has not activated a draft in more than 50 years. 6:40, here's the story making headlines right now. Climate activists spray paint Stonehenge. A video posted on Twitter by an account that's titled Just Stop Oil shows these activists spraying the iconic landmark with orange paint using fire extinguisher type, things here.
Yeah, devices there.
Protesters arrested. We understand they will face charges. Today, big crowds are expected to gather at Stonehenge, so this was not coincidental in the timing. People gathering there to mark the summer solstice.
We understand some tourists were there trying to stop them, witnessing them, and then tried to tackle them while they were doing it there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from there. Let's get to Greg. He's standing by to look at your forecast for today.
Yes, we are. We know it's going to be hot, but still want to get out there and do some things here whenever we can find the cooler hours of the day. Nashville Sound's playing tonight, 93 degrees at 6 o'clock. So first pitch still going to be steamy out there. The sun going to be beating down on us until after 8 o'clock. And the UV index will be very high. So it's definitely a sunscreen in the stands kind of a day, 100%. You can get a burn in about 10 minutes with how strong the sun's going to be. Taking a look, by 10 p.m., we're back to around 75 degrees and we'll fall into the lower 70s overnight tonight. So all in all, not a bad forecast to catch a ball game. No rain. That brings me to my curious question. What animal did Australian soldiers fight in 1932? Kangaroos, snakes, emus, or koalas? I'll have the answer for you coming up in 5 minutes.
642. Let's take a look at your steer clear traffic as you get out and about this morning. We're going to get started at I-24 at Joe B. Jackson Parkway. That's down in Murfreesboro. That's where we're still dealing with some delays here because one lane is shut down due to some overnight construction. Now, at one point, it was much longer and further than this that they had the lane shut down, but they've been reopening it slowly but surely, but have not gotten to this part yet. So we're now one lane instead of two. As you make that drive into Murfreesboro, you can use Highway 41 to steer clear. Overall drive times look a little bit like this. 32 minutes in from Hendersonville, 68 minutes, just over an hour in from Murfreesboro.
Well, in case you were wondering whether tourism was slowing down in Nashville, the answer is no. We've got hotels and all kinds of different groups working right now on how to handle the service.
6:45 is the time, and right now in Operation Crime and Justice this Thursday morning, take a look at these photos. Gallatin police are asking for your help identifying 3 people in these photographs. Officers say the 3 are wanted for shoplifting that happening at the Walmart store over on Nashville Pike. They also say these folks in the photographs were last seen in a gray Nissan sedan heading towards Hendersonville.
All right, so if you have any information, pretty clear picture here of those 3, you can call Officer Wilkerson directly. He's the person working this case. Officer Wilkerson, that number is 615-452-1313. Nashville breaking records when it comes to tourism, and we are still growing. I remember about 11 years ago when Nashville was called the It City. Now, I don't know if y'all remember that slogan, but things have not died down since then. The Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation saying Music City raked in more than $10.5 billion in tourism last year.
Okay, so we're now getting some more updates about these numbers, and we do know visitor numbers also increased by 4% from 2022, hitting a record 16.8 million. Nashville has 40,000 hotel rooms, 40,000. 2,000 are being built and 13,000 are in the planning stages.
All right, that's a lot. And Nashville CVC is now working to make sure the city can handle this demand by putting together a strategic plan for the future. The CVC's strategic plan will be announced today, and this is 2 years in the making. We'll be there.
2 years?
Yeah, we'll be there for that announcement and let you know just as soon as we get word.
When you hear 2 years in the making, you got to think, okay, y'all have to have a good plan in place.
Right, because everything has changed so much just in 2 years around here. You think about it.
Yeah, so where are we going in the next 5 years?
Well, we know in a few years we'll have a new Nissan Stadium. Yeah. And that's going to bring more people, plus perhaps a Super Bowl to Nashville.
Oh, yes.
Buckle up, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Things ever changing. I mean, I've only been here for 5 years in the skyline. You wouldn't even know it's the same city sometimes unless you pick out the iconic buildings. So I asked you a very curious question before the break.
Okay.
What animal did Australian soldiers fight in 1932? Kangaroos, snakes, emus, or koalas?
All right, so I have been to Australia. I'm going with A.
Going with
based
kangaroos.
on my experience.
Okay.
I said A as well, just because I know kangaroos are known to physically box.
They can take you out.
Yeah, but that also makes me think that maybe it wouldn't be an obvious answer like the kangaroo, like maybe an emu or something.
No, he's trying to trick us.
What?
You got it.
Emus.
I can't make this kind of stuff up. There was an emu war back in 1932 because 20,000 emus were destroying crops across Australia, so the government declared war on them. They were trying to take them down with machine guns, but the emus won. The emus ended up winning because the machine guns kept not working on them, holding up on them, jamming. That's what I was looking for. So yeah, there you go. There was an emu war back in 1932. The more you know. Take a look here. Code Red weather app can be useful for you as we go into the weekend. Temperature's going to be in the 90s later on today, and a lot of sunshine. Grab the shades. You can always have top of the radar to try to find any rain we're going to have Monday and Tuesday and next week especially. And just gear up. We're in the 60s and 70s now. We'll be at 90 degrees in time for lunch. Sneak peek of what we'll talk about one more time before we hit 7 o'clock. We're talking 98 tomorrow, 100 on Saturday and Sunday. Nighttime temps in the 70s.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Alberto turned the drive between Corpus Christi and San Antonio into a wet, windy, and blurry one at times late Wednesday morning. Inside the city, the afternoon commute was soggy, too. Thunderstorms moved through southern and central Maine Wednesday, this tree splintered by lightning. Elsewhere, some stunning waterfall views of Utah's Alpine Loop, located outside Provo.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning in I-24 at Joe B. Jackson Parkway. Zoom in, T-Dot, zoom in. Show the good people what's going on. Come on. I saw you try. I saw you want to do it there. They're picking up the cones is what's going on. They're at I-24 at Joe B. Jackson, hopefully freeing up this lane that's been clogged up here overnight while crews have been doing some overnight road work here. Up ahead of it at one point, 2 more lanes were shut down. They've been able to reopen those. But now here we are, my guy from T-Dot out there getting his workout in, manhandling these giant cones that have been blocking the road all night. So he'll be out there doing that. Hopefully once he gets those lanes cleared up, traffic will resume a normal flow, because right now it's not normal. It's rather slow down there. You can see exactly where they've been working right here. 41, Highway 41 is open, so you can't get by that way.
All right, Justin, thanks. 6:50 is the time right now. We are 1 week away from the first debate between President Biden and former President Trump since the two faced off ahead of the 2020 election.
Both candidates have started getting ready for what is certainly going to be a very closely watched showdown. Fox 17 News' Connor Hansen has an update.
In a little more than a week, all eyes will be on Atlanta for the first of only 2 televised presidential debates ahead of the November election. Both President Biden and former President Trump have been busy campaigning, but are expected to set aside time for their preparations. Trump has reportedly been preparing at Mar-a-Lago, going over key policy issues like immigration and the economy with trusted allies instead of mock debate.
Debate prep is really, I think, at least in my limited experience with him, he's thinking about how to translate these really, really important topics into a message that works, and obviously he's as good at it as anybody.
Biden took his debate prep to Delaware, though the White House did not go into much detail about what it will look like.
This is a president that wants to always, regardless if it's on a debate stage or not, talk about the issues, right? And there is a real contrast here if we think about what extreme Republicans are trying to do and what this president is trying to do.
The debate will feature some new rules aimed at avoiding a chaotic repeat of 2020.
You're wrong. You're wrong. No, I want to continue with you.
The candidates' mics will be muted unless it's their turn, and there will be no audience.
I think that the choice is going to be made by voters much closer to Election Day, and it will be a choice between, obviously, 2 people. They're going to have to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of each candidate.
After next week's debate, the only other time the 2 candidates are set to go head-to-head will be on September 10th. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Connor, thank you. A kitten stuck in a peculiar spot. The rescue that happened to get this kitty to safety.
Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning in our 7 o'clock hour, Amazon not just delivering to Nashville, but also making an investment in affordable housing here. Fox 17 News reporter Madeline Nolan with that full story.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Just about 5 minutes before 7, and a beautiful look at the sunrise here over Metro Center. This is the camera right on top of our studios and looking out toward the Titans practice facility. Man, getting closer to football season.
Wait a minute now, we didn't even get through summer. You're talking about football season.
We've got the workouts, we've got training camp.
Okay.
We got a lot of excitement. So we'll be following all of it for you as we do get closer to that opening match. Hey, right now, let's talk about something though that is trending. I guess you could call it a nearly impossible rescue.
Well, there you go. I see what you did. Police over in Ohio sharing these clips from a rescue over on social media. And the video, take a look. It shows a small kitten stuck in between a semi-truck wheel. It all began when a commercial truck driver was about to head out for his route. And then thankfully he spotted the cat that was trapped in this very tough spot right between the wheel. Thankfully, crews were able to separate the wheel and get that kitten out to safety.
Video like that always just makes me wonder how the heck they get in there in the first place.
Those kittens, they're creative. They find unique spots.
Tiny little guy too. Taking a look. Not a good day for anything to be outside today, really. 96 degrees later today. UV index. I'm going to keep talking about this here as we go into our 7 to 9 hours. Go local for everybody else is putting on something that's already being taped for you hours ago. We're heating up with the UV index dangerous. This is the first day of summer, meaning the sun has some of its most direct rays right over us. Our sunburn time is right around 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes, you get a sunburn today. 8:07, our sunset for you here. Taking a look, might be a good day for the pool. Now, I stress, 10 minutes. Sunburn. We all know what to do. Take the precautions that we need to be necessary. And just to make sure we're staying safe out there at the pool, 7-day forecast, we're not done. 96 today, 98 degrees tomorrow. We're going to aim for near 100 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. Now, the humidity going to get worse into the weekend, believe it or not. So coming up in our 7 o'clock half hour, we'll look at what those 100-degree temperatures are going to feel like. We'll also spotlight some things happening this weekend. The Western Kentucky State Fair is happening this weekend. We have the Live Golf Tournament this weekend. Many outdoor events. We'll look at forecasts for you.
All right. Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic time right now, just 3 minutes before 7. And I-24 Joe B. Jackson Parkway. We've got crews that are trying to get some construction cones out of the way here for you so you can get on into Nashville a little bit easier. Right now, we are seeing a pretty significant backup, though, and you can see TDOT moving the camera around for you to see that backup. I would say if you are coming in this morning from maybe Beech Grove, which is just a little south of Murfreesboro, you could take the detour of Highway 41. As you approach Antioch, a little bit of a slowdown coming in through Antioch and even Laverne. Murfreesboro Pike also going to be your best detour through there. No other major concerns right now. A little slow on Vietnam Veterans Boulevard up in Hendersonville. We'll keep an eye on steer clear traffic and check in again in just a few minutes.
Well, there is a new mural honoring Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays that was unveiled in his hometown of Birmingham, Alabama yesterday. Look at this. The Say Hey Kid passed away Tuesday at the age of 93. This new mural, though, focuses on his Hall of Fame career. Again, this is over in Alabama, and we're just showing you some more looks and talking about his Hall of Fame career, including his time playing, we understand, for the Birmingham Black Barons in the Negro Leagues. In his 23 major league seasons, Mays finished with 660 career home runs.
Like just about everything else these days, cell phone bills are going up. We're going to talk specifically about AT&T right now. AT&T says they're bumping up the price of its retired unlimited plans by up to $20 a month. So if you have AT&T and one of those older unlimited plans, expect your bill to jump up to $20 per month. AT&T claims they're going to make up for this change by adding more high-speed and hotspot data. That could be hard to track. All right, so just consider that. If you are paying your bills and setting aside your budget, plan for about $20 more per month for AT&T on those unlimited plans.
Happening tomorrow, the Western Kentucky State Fair returns to Hopkinsville for its 73rd year of events, rides, exhibits, and of course the food and the competitions.
Funnel cakes.
Yeah.
Fried Oreos.
French fries. Corn dogs.
All the stuff. The slushies, the ice creams. Fairgoers in Hopkinsville, you can get in the gate for just $3. But quick reminder here, you're going to have to buy tickets for each ride. And most of the fair is cash only, so make sure you take cold hard cash. This is at 2810 Richard Street, right there in Hopkinsville. Gates open at 5 p.m. tomorrow. If you can't make it tomorrow, the fair runs all next week through Saturday the 29th.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, working to give Nashville more affordable housing, a big issue. Amazon's impact on Music City.
And continuing coverage when it comes to teenage crime here in the Mid-State, we're hearing from a Nashville mom who has experienced this issue firsthand.
Looking at a forecast of increasing heat and humidity, a lot of things happening outdoors and a lot of big events. We'll break down what you need to know the next 3-4 days coming up in your forecast.
And Greg, thank you. And thank all of y'all for joining us here on a busy Fox 17 News Thursday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are always your live local news source through 9 a.m. and we've got new headlines to kick off our 7 o'clock hour. You know, when you think of Amazon, you probably think about quick deliveries, online shopping, but Amazon also has a bigger footprint here in Nashville.
Yeah, including their investment into affordable housing. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live in the studio with some more information.
That's right. They call it Amazon's Home Equity Fund, and the goal was to preserve at least 20,000 units of affordable housing across Amazon's 3 hometown communities, Nashville being one of those 3. But Amazon announced that they exceeded their goal and preserved 22,000 units with an investment of $2.25 billion. Now they plan to invest another $1.4 billion to create and preserve another 14,000 units. Nashville alone has over 3,000 units of affordable housing in partnership with Amazon, which is long-term housing with 99-year affordability. Something Michelle Gaskin-Brown, the public policy manager at Amazon, says is needed as the cost of living rises.
So all across the country, you will hear that the cost of housing has increased, and that was something we heard as we really came to Nashville and was just learning more about the city, figuring out where we can deploy resources, and we kept hearing affordable housing, and so just we all got together and this fund was established, and so we were really excited to just be able to let that be one part of our community impact investment.
Now, at least 800 of the affordable housing units already are here in Nashville are located near WeGo high-capacity transit locations, allowing for low to medium income Nashvillians to have access to transportation. Now, we'll have more coming up in the next half hour. Back to you guys.
And let's deep dive into the forecast here at 7:03 this morning on a Thursday, and we're talking about the heat. Go figure. Today is the first day of summer. It's felt like that for well over a week and a half at this point. But now we officially can say we're there. One of the longest daylight days of the year. The sun at the peak here when it comes, it's most detrimental to your skin. You can burn in 10 minutes. Welcome, summer. Yeah, welcome to Nashville. We've already really had you, though. Hot and humid. The humidity on the rise. You felt it a little yesterday. It increases day by day into the weekend itself. Limited rain chances until Sunday as well. That's going to allow the heat to continue to build. Without any moisture out there, the heat just takes everything it needs and just continues to grow. And we could have our first 100-degree day since August of last year on either Saturday or Sunday, potentially even both. What to wear? Well, just grab whatever you've been using the last few weeks when it comes to comfort. The one thing I would say, though, is you can leave the umbrella at home, but grab the sunglasses for sure. It's much more sunshine in the forecast today than the last 2 days. Out the door here on your Thursday, temperatures are already climbing. 75 at 8 o'clock, 85 by 10 a.m. And again, not much more than just a few clouds on and off for this one. So a pretty manageable day when it comes to any inconveniences except for the heat. 96 degrees this afternoon, 98 for your Friday. There are those 2 100-degree temperatures for Saturday and Sunday. And then we'll stay in the upper 90s on Monday and Tuesday.
Let's take a look at steer clear traffic, and we're going to begin here at I-40. This is at Spence Lane, just east of downtown Nashville. Get the sunglasses if you're going to be part of this drive. The sun glare is real out there this morning, so heads up. But other than that, we're good to go. Traffic at a good moderate level as it makes its way out of or into or out of Nashville. These folks, the sun is probably in their rear view at this point. For these people over here, you want to use that sunglasses, that visor right there. If not, the sun's going to be dead in your eyes there. It's not a fun thing. Let's take a look at your drive times right now. Hendersonville, 37 minutes. Murfreesboro, about an hour and 11 minutes in from there. 35 minutes in from Mount Juliet. We'll continue to follow things out there on the roads.
We have have some breaking news just into the newsroom right now regarding traffic. This is coming to us from Mount Juliet Police. Just in here, they're giving out an alert for Mount Juliet saying Old Lebanon Dirt Road between Page Drive and Kelsey Glen Drive is going to be closed for about an hour because of a tree and a power line that's across the road right there. So if you are waking up with us in Wilson County, that's the alert just moments ago from Mount Juliet Police on Old Lebanon Dirt Road. We'll keep an eye on this for you and bring you more updates live through 9.
Right now, though, we have continuing coverage of teenage crime right here in the mid-state. Talia Monget is a mom who says her son graduated from Hillsborough High School the month before he was shot and ultimately killed right outside of a friend's Sweet 16 party. So sad here.
The mom telling Fox 17 News that her son had so much more life to live and she doesn't want to see other families go through this.
What are our leaders going to do in the city of Nashville other than, watch the city grow to max capacity? And so is the crime.
This mother says that she started an organization in honor of her son, the Antword Covington Jr. Foundation. The foundation caters to youth through community programs and helps parents look out for red flags or, she says, warning signs of trouble that their kids may be getting into.
Meanwhile, we have some state lawmakers who are taking a different approach. Last session, state representatives passed the Parental Accountability Act. This allows the juvenile courts to go after the parents and fine parents up to $1,000 for certain crimes that their teenagers may have been a part of. That law goes into effect coming up July 1st.
We also always want to hear from you. So over on our Fox Nashville X account, we're asking this question and sharing this question with you on your screen. What do you think is the answer to curbing juvenile crime? As of right now, 57.4% of you all say stricter punishment is the option. If you want to let us know what you think, make it happen by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting any of our Fox Nashville social media pages.
We just told you about the breaking news of the tree and the lines down on Old Lebanon Dirt Road in Mount Juliet, which is in Wilson County. Leaders there also giving the green light for a new courthouse. But while everybody agrees there is a need, still a big debate as to how to pay for this.
We're going to explain why some believe the sacrifices for the new building might be asking too much.
7:09 is the time here on this Thursday morning. Wilson County voted to spend close to $84 million on a brand new courthouse. Now, there's very little argument about why they need a new courthouse. The old one, built back in the 1960s, just too small for their needs right now. However, there's lots of needs out there in Wilson County. Schools, for instance. Some county commissioners are wondering where all of the money that is needed for this new building is really going to come from.
And I agree, we need it. The need's not my problem. I understand it. We just can't afford it. And without it being a burden on our citizens. And that's who we represent.
I've looked at this. I've looked at the price and cost per square foot. And I think we're really getting a deal for the need that we have. I really do. I'm afraid if we back off of this, costs are only going to get higher. And we're going to end up spending more money down the road because we know it's a need.
Now, the current courthouse has been in use there in Wilson County since the late 1960s. I looked it up earlier this morning. Do you know what the population of Wilson County was at that point? Less than 40,000. Right now, the population, 158,000 and rising. In your community this morning, Nashville is breaking tourism records yet again. Nashville with over $10 billion in tourism revenue over the last year. That's according to the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. They keep up with these things. They also are keeping up with the number of visitors to the city, almost 17 million people. Now, they're planning to announce their strategic plan later today. And as we learn more, we're going to update you both on air and online at fox17.com. Well, as temperatures reach the 90s, the city of Nashville is now offering free fans and air conditioners to people with elderly family members, as well as children under the age of 6 years old and people who are disabled and are affected by the extreme heat. Now, this is only if you live in Metro Nashville. You have until August the 31st to participate in this particular program, typically put on by the Metro Action Commission.
Coming up in your forecast, you can see it's already hot outside. Just looks like it. Temperature's already near 80 degrees. How many days in a row could be near 100 before our next chance for rain?
And also on Steer Clear traffic, this is a live look here at I-40 near Fessler's Lane, just east of downtown. We're moving along pretty nicely over here. We're going to take a latest look at your drive times and anything else to get in your way coming up.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. 7:14 is your time. Happening today, the 615 Open at the Hermitage Golf Course, and this is for a good cause.
I'm really jealous right now of Johnny Maffey right there live on the course for us this morning with what is ahead. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, guys. So they're teeing off a little bit later this afternoon for the 615 Open, and like you guys mentioned, it's all to benefit a good cause. It's for the Souls for Souls Foundation, and Jamie Ellis is joining us now. She's been heavily involved with this cause. So the first question is going to be, tell us and everybody here about that cause.
All right, we're going to get that microphone squared away and we'll send it back out to Johnny in just a minute because, of course, we want to be able to tell you about the cause. Fox 17 News is a partner for this event coming up as we help to raise money for Souls for Souls. So we'll check back in with Johnny here in just a minute.
Yeah, well, back in a moment. So in the meantime, I'll take over the golf game here. And we'll just see if maybe he's going to inspire you to maybe go out and shoot around here this morning. What are you getting into? Well, 9 a.m. tee time, 79 degrees, 89 if you're teeing off near noon. So that's going to be a hydration kind of 18 holes. 3 p.m., 93 degrees. Now, not that much humidity today, but the humidity, it's slowly creeping in as we get closer to the weekend. By the time Saturday and Sunday are here, our heat index values are going to be above 100 degrees. That is the very similar look I'll be having. Shall we go out or not? Taking a look here, our dog of the day, beautiful dog here. This is Peach, sent in by Brittany from Nolensville. And I know it's redundant to keep saying it every morning, but the earlier we can walk the dogs, the better we're going to be. We all know this. If we've been taking our dogs out, we know what the protocol is going to be. We had temperatures that soar near 90 by lunchtime. Taking a look here. Sending your dog of the day. It's very easy. You got a Facebook page, probably have your phone in your hand right now. Go to Facebook. Like my page, meteorologist Greg Bobus, post to the pin post at the top. That's all you got to do. And just like Peach, you could be our dog of the day. Well, not you can't be our dog of the day, but your dog can be our dog of the day here on Fox 17 News this morning. 96 degrees today, 98 tomorrow. And then there is that resurgence of humidity and heat to take us into Saturday and Sunday. As of right now, your current temps are on the right side of your screen. We're talking 60s and 70s. We're already closing in on 80 in some spots. And those will be up there for you all the way through 9 a.m., even during our commercial breaks.
Steer Clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get a good look here at I-24. This is at Elm Road out there in Murfreesboro. Boy, we've been dealing with a slow go coming in from Rutherford County all morning long here to the south of Murfreesboro. They've been doing road work out there along Shelbyville Highway back to Joe B. Jackson and then all the way out here to Elm Road there. So you can see the traffic is still crawling around the corner here and it goes back for several more miles just like this. Now, the good news is it has been clearing up. Let me show you what we're talking about here just in the south of Murfreesboro, which is right up there. It starts here at around Highway 231, which is Shelbyville Highway, and it stretches all the way back down. You want to use Highway 41. I've just checked. It's all green in this area here. That's going to be your best way to get around this until they finish picking up all the construction cones.
Justin, thank you. Okay, we do want to get back out to Johnny Maffey talking about the 615 Open at the Hermitage Golf Course. Johnny, can you hear us now?
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys, again. Sorry about those microphone issues, those that sort of poor microphone performance there. Well, that's my golf game, but luckily there will be some good people on the course today, some good players out there. This is Jamie Ellis. She's with the Souls for Souls Foundation, which is a great cause that this... Can you talk about...
Well, maybe the third time will be a charm, or maybe we just need to toss the microphone in the hole.
That's my...
7:21 is the time in Operation Crime and Justice. Gallatin police are asking for your help identifying at least 3 people that you can see right here in these images that they have provided. Officers say these 3 are wanted for shoplifting at the Walmart on Nashville Pike there in Gallatin.
Last seen in a gray sedan that you see in the picture right here, heading toward Hendersonville. So if you have any information about these three, you're asked to call Officer Wilkerson with the Gallatin Police Department. That number right there at the bottom of your screen.
Well, new this morning, an Antioch man is being charged with attempted homicide. Metro Police say that Antonio Mason fired 6 to 7 shots towards his ex-girlfriend's car. This happened on Tuesday. The problem is there were 2 teenagers who were inside the car at the time. Now, they claim the woman was at Mason's apartment on Apache Trail to discuss belongings that he had left at her house.
Police say they found 3 bullet holes in that woman's car. Nobody got hurt, thankfully, but Mason is facing a long list of charges here on this Thursday morning.
Let's talk about Operation Crime and Justice this time, as several teenagers are now facing charges after police say they shot Orbeez. These are the small type of devices here. Oh, they're behind us. Thank you, Jen. Jen's pointing out. They're just right here, Justin. These things, they expand when you get them wet. Apparently, people were shooting them at pedestrians down there in Spring Hill.
Yeah, Spring Hill police say it happened last week at the Benvenito subdivision. 2 teenagers hit a 15-year-old girl with a pellet gun with these things inside. Also happened on Duplex Road. A driver got hit in the head with these things.
Wow.
So we've got teenagers facing aggravated assault charges in this case. Investigators think the teenagers are using Orbeez guns to shoot those gel blasters, either at each other from car to car or intentionally toward pedestrians.
The question is why, but I mean, they're teenagers, so.
And before they get wet and you know, puff up like this, they're tiny little plastic pellets, so they would hurt.
So it feels more like marbles
like a BB.
then, like a BB then.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not a game or a challenge on social media. They want to emphasize this is a crime. So if you know anything about it, you're asked to contact the Spring Hill Police Department.
A look at our forecast here later on this afternoon. We're going to aim for 90s, middle 90s in the Nashville area. The heat is already picking up. There's not a lot of cloud cover out there. We had a few clouds a few hours ago. Most of those have gone away. You'll get a few on and off throughout today. You could even see just a halo of just all the sun here hitting our camera. It's going to be a hot one. And the humidity and the UV index are through the roof. So maybe you're thinking, what should I do later on? Should I go to the pool? Maybe you have the ability to do so. First day of summer. Makes sense, right? Well, 96. It is heating up. Let's talk UV index and pool forecasts and put all these pieces together of what you got to do to make sure that when you're done with your day, you're not a lobster. 85 degrees at 10, 93 at 2, and 94 at 5 o'clock. Rain-free the whole day. Don't worry about a drop of rain coming out of the sky. This is what I want you to worry about a little more. This is the most extreme that our UV index has been so far this season. One of the strongest sunlight days we're going to see. That's why it's the first day of summer. It has to do with the sun angle beating down on us at its highest and most impactful point. Less than 10 minutes. You can get a sunburn if you're not covered up or using sunscreen. Then the humidity beginning to climb from yesterday. Feeling muggy, going to all day long. We're going to feel like we're in the mid-90s most of the afternoon into the evening. That's why a pool is a good place to go cool down as long as we're hydrating and taking all the precautions. And as far as pollen counts go, that's the one thing that's kind of taken a little vacation for us, at least for the next few weeks, and then the next round of pollen will kick up. Maybe you do spend the day at the pool, and then you're going to fire up the barbecue a little bit later. Know what you're getting into with that as well. Not much of a breeze, which is good, so no problem with the flame, but we definitely have the heat. 94 degrees at 5, down to 91 by 7. Just a couple clouds on and off, so no real relief throughout the day thanks to Mother Nature at any point. One of our sunnier days of the week. And then we go to 98 degrees on Friday. Triple digits Saturday and Sunday. Coming up next half hour, we have the Western Kentucky State Fair this weekend. We had the Live Golf Tournament this weekend. We'll look at those 2 specific forecasts for you.
726. I want to take a quick look at steer clear traffic out there. We want to go down to Rutherford County. That's where we've been dealing with a big backup down there for quite some time at I-24 at Alum Road out there in Rutherford County. As you can see, traffic is moving along pretty well, other than we've got a big standstill. It's moving along pretty well in one direction. The other direction is a problem. So if you're going in towards Murfreesboro, that's where the problem is from Manchester. Big slowdown because of some overnight construction. They are still trying to pick up the cones from out there. You want to try to use Highway 41 as the best way to steer clear. This is a problem that we've been dealing with now for a couple of hours. They're slowly but surely clearing the construction scene.
726 is your time right now, and we've got live steer clear traffic and code red weather updates all morning long, every few minutes through 9. The good news right now, no concerns for.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, more than just fast shipping. We're going to explain what Amazon is doing to add affordable housing to Music City.
And we're working our way to the first day of summer, though it's felt like that for far longer. We all know it, but how much longer will it last and how much hotter is it going to get before we get any relief?
I-24 down at Elm Road in Murfreesboro, big backup down here because of overnight construction. We'll tell you the best ways to deal with it.
Okay, a lot to get to, but first we do want to say thank you for joining us here on a Thursday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're your live local news source through 9 a.m. And this half hour, we're talking more about how Amazon is expanding its footprint here in the mid-state. I know when you think about Amazon, you think, deliveries and shopping and all that good stuff, but Amazon is now investing in building and preserving more affordable housing here in the mid-state.
It's an ongoing conversation for sure. And right now, Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live in the studio this morning with some more details. Good morning, Madeline.
Good morning. And exactly all across the country, you'll hear that the cost of housing has skyrocketed. But with what Amazon is doing with their home equity fund, they're preserving units of affordable housing. Now, Nashville is one of 3 areas who are benefiting from this program. After exceeding their goal to preserve at least 20,000 units, they announced they're planning to invest another $1.4 billion on top of the already $2.25 billion to create and preserve another 14,000 units. Nashville alone has over 3,000 units of affordable housing, and they plan to add more. At least 800 of the affordable housing units already in Nashville are located near WeGo high-capacity transit locations, allowing for low, medium-income Nashvillians to have access to transportation. Back to you guys.
All right, Madeline, I know you were mentioning WeGo here. There is a partnership. 87% of the homes serve households earning less than 60% of the average median income. So that looks to be that connection that Amazon is making in this partnership with WeGo.
Yes, that's exactly right. They committed $75 million to again create those 800 homes near WeGo transit corridors to again provide access to transportation for moderate to low income Nashvillians.
All right, Madeline, thank you so much. A lot more updates to come when it comes to affordable housing for sure. We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist for that Thursday, first day of summer forecast.
First day of summer, and we keep the heat rolling. It's just like it should be, according to the calendar. Taking a look here, hotter every day into the weekend. Today, tomorrow, and then Saturday and Sunday, we peak near 100 degrees. If we hit it, it's the first time we've hit 100 degrees this year, the first time since August of last year. Got to think back, if you've lived here for a couple years, you know that it does not happen all that often. August last year, we hit 100. It had been a decade before that since we had hit triple digits. So if we get 1 or even 2 this weekend, we actually are in very rare air when it comes to that temperature out there. No rain for a few days in the forecast. That's going to help us see those temperatures soar. Taking a look at the calendar for the month, every orange box leading all the way up through yesterday, showing us a day above the average high temperature. 5 of those have been in the 90s. We've only had a couple of days, less than a handful, that have had temperatures below average for our afternoon highs. Here's the next 7 days. Today we'll be at 96, and starting at tomorrow, 98, near 100 on Saturday and Sunday, 98 on Monday, Tuesday at 97. No relief in sight. Honestly, only going to get a little bit worse before it gets better when it comes to the humidity. So might be a good day to have lunch indoors and just look out the window. Beautiful looking day, not feeling, looking day. With a lot of sunshine here. Our sunniest day so far this entire week. 87 degrees at 11, 89 at noon, 91 at 1 p.m. right around lunchtime, and then we spend the rest of the afternoon and evening in the 90-degree temperature range. 96 goes to 98. There is that pair of 100-degree temperatures, but I want you to focus on the numbers that are in the blue boxes. Overnight lows are going to be in the 70s for the next 6 nights in a row. So even overnight, we don't get relief from this impending heat.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get to I-24 at Elm Road down there in Murfreesboro. We are dealing with really slow traffic there because of overnight construction that has taken place and really slowed things up. It was much further than this. It was ahead of this near Joe B. Jackson that was slow, all the way over to I-24 close to Shelbyville Highway. That was slow too. They've been slowly but surely clearing the cones that were causing these slowdowns from earlier in the morning, but still some slow spots are out there. Let's show it to you. area on the map for you. So if you can see it there, the stretch goes back for several miles. You want to use Highway 41 right here. That's the best way to get past some of that congestion until they pick up all of the cones, not just some of them. We are dealing with a crash on another part of I-24. This is going to be 24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway, very close to the Tanger outlets, right there in that outside HOV lane. Metro Police, they're dealing with the aftermath of that crash. We'll see if they can get them along. Until they do, there's going to be another slight slowdown here as you make your way in from Antioch. Murfreesboro Road, a good way to possibly steer clear of some of this drama here until this clears up.
Let's talk about sports. Tennessee Vols continuing their dominance in Omaha yesterday, taking down Florida State. And now the Vols are back in the World Series finals for the first time, get this, for the first time since 1951.
Vols fans waking up real happy here on this Thursday. They were taking on that same Florida State team that they beat in a come-from-behind thriller last Friday. This time, Vols in full control. We begin in the top of the first. Vols with 2 on. Hunter Ensley is going to come up clutch. That's a line drive off John Abraham. 1 run comes in. Vols go up 2-0. And then check out this play. Bottom of the first, Vols outfielder Kavaris Tears is going to run, catch it and crash. Man, but look, he holds on to it. An incredible play there for the outfielder. That's the second crash into that Omaha wall we've seen this postseason. 4th inning, Christian Moore is going to rip one down the line. That's a triple, and that's going to make it 5-0 Tennessee. And they would go on in dominant form here. Vols don't stop. 9th inning, Blake Burke with the cherry on top, and that one is gone to the stand. So Vols had a great outing. Their starting pitcher Xander Sechrest allowed just 2 earned runs in 6 innings of work. Vols take down Florida State 7-2 and advance to the College World Series Finals.
There's we can always say before something happens, and there's been a lot of build up into the successes we've had this year and the failures too, to be honest with you. And it's just been fun to be a part of. And as far as my emotions, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just following these guys. There's certain tasks that I have to do, and there's direction that I give them, and they'll listen, but kind of following them right now makes it nice.
Jen, can I just say I really appreciate your enthusiasm while reading those highlights.
Aw,
it gets me excited.
I love
the
baseball.
3-game championship series, I can tell, is going to begin on Saturday. Vols fans certainly really excited.
All right, and it is the first official day of summer, meteorologically speaking, and the heat is on already. Summer solstice, the longest day of sunlight. The official takeover to summer will happen at 3:50 this afternoon.
Yeah, so the U.S. Naval Observatory says that it's the moment the sun reaches its highest point in the sky during the entire year. By the way, this is the earliest solstice since June 20th of 1796. Wow. That is back when George Washington was the U.S. president. Most years, the summer solstice happens on June 21st. That's important to point out because I know my mom was talking about this. She was like, that doesn't seem like the right date to me.
Here we are.
Interesting.
Here we are, and we want to hear from you. Are you acclimated to the Tennessee heat? We were asking, are you used to it? And the answers correspond based on how long you've been here, right? So did you grow up here? Are you kind of used to the heat? Maybe you're brand new to it. Most of you say, I grew up here, 85% of you. But let's point this out. You might have grown up here and you still are not used to it. Maybe you grew up here and you still don't like it. Either way, you can sound off right now. Scan that QR code on your screen and vote in this morning's online poll. Good morning. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:41 is the time right now. Let's talk soccer. Nashville SC in Toronto last night and a last-minute win.
Big win for them thanks to 2 goals from their striker, Sam Surridge. Let's take a look here. Toronto did score in the 34th minute, but then a half hour later, we understand that their striker, Surridge, was able to get into it. Now, what you're going to see right here is Toronto getting on the board here 1-0 with this particular score. They were up 1-0 there. Then later is when Sam Surridge got into it there for Nashville SC. He puts the next 2 on the board starting here at the 64th and a half minute. Boom, right there finds the corner of the goal and ties it at 1. He'll add 1 more and lift Nashville SC to a 2-1 victory. They will return from the road playing New York City Saturday night at Geodis Park.
The world's largest swimming lesson is highlighting water safety this summer. Essentially, this is an effort nationwide including here in the mid-state, to get children into swimming lessons. This is the 15th year that they've done this so-called world's largest swimming lesson, where mainly children, but even also adults, can learn about the importance of being water aware. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say that drowning can be one of the leading causes of death, especially this time of year. So if you maybe are a new parent and you're thinking about getting your kids signed up for some lessons, now would be a great time to do it.
And it's 7:42. Yeah, this is a great time to have those lessons because a pool is a really good way to cool down this time of the year, but the safety is the big factor. Taking a look here, know when to mow. Now, you can mow every day here for the next 4 or 5 days. It's knowing when to mow. That's the whole point of the entire banner here. The green light means it's a good day in terms of rain. So yes, yes, yes. But afternoon hours are going to be brutal. The next 4 days are going to be very, very hot. Early morning, before you even have the door for work, because the sun's coming up so early now at 5:30 in the morning. I'm not saying get out there at 5:30. Don't be that neighbor. But before you head to work's a good time. And right when you get home, eat some dinner first. And then before dinner time, or I should say before sunset, after dinner time, sun doesn't set until 8:07. That's another good chance for it. Same with the gardening. Taking a look, here's our temperature breakdown. 79 at 9 o'clock, 89 degrees at noon, and 93 at 3 p.m. No rain in the forecast today. We are watering ourselves, or our plants are getting nothing. You got about 1 more hour worth of decent watering time this morning before it gets too hot and the sun is too strong, or you have to wait until very late in the day.
Still to come right here on Fox 17 News this morning, we are looking at your steer clear traffic. Things are picking up on 24 at Ellen Road down there in Murfreesboro. We're going to tell you why there was such.
Welcome back. 7:46 is the time, and happening today, it is going to be the 615 Open over at the Hermitage Golf Course. We're going to try this one more time with our reporter out there.
I said the third time's the charm, and if it's not, we're going to ditch the mic altogether. We're going to give Johnny permission to just chuck it out there in the water. Johnny Maffey joining us live right now to talk about this event that Fox 17 News is part of and that does benefit a local group. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, that's right, Jen. Third time's hopefully the charm with this mic situation, but we're live here. The course is looking great at the Hermitage Golf Course, holding up with this heat wave we've been dealing with the last, it feels like a week or so, ever since I started here with Fox 17 just this week. Jamie Ellis is coming back on. She's with Souls for Souls, and that's what the 615 Open is benefiting today. Can you talk to us about your group?
Yeah, so Souls for Souls is a global nonprofit based right here in Nashville, Tennessee. But today, specifically, the 615 Open is to benefit our For Every Kid program, which is to provide new athletic shoes to children experiencing homelessness, both around the U.S. and right here in Middle Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. So how much do events like this help? Because you were saying just $20 can help a kid get a pair of shoes. That's so important.
Absolutely. So we work directly with all the major brands, any ones that you can think of, to provide low-cost, high-quality, brand-new footwear to these children. And anytime we can get out and do something like this to bring in those funds, like you said, just $20. It's so simple, but it makes a big impact on these kids.
Definitely. So you have this going on, and, you know, if people can't make it out here, or if they can't make it exactly to an event, how can they help?
Yeah, so like we said, $20 equals one pair of shoes for a child experiencing homelessness. They can go to foreverykid.org. That's the number 4, everykid.org, and they can donate there.
Are you getting out there today?
I will be in the carts, not playing.
Awesome. Jamie, thanks so much for coming on. Guys, we're going to check back in here from the Hermitage Golf Course. The 615 Open starts up a little bit later on this afternoon. There are going to be some big names involved. And as Jen and Erica were telling us, Fox 17 is proud sponsors of this event. A few of our reporters are actually going to be teeing off a little bit later on as well. For now, though, live out here on the links, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Johnny, thank you. Hey, if Johnny can still hear us, he has to go out there and look for the sheep. That's what the Hermitage Golf Course is known for, the sheep out there flocking.
That's right. We were out there years ago. They were.
Are you? Wait.
They were out there.
I heard something. One more time.
No. So you were out there a while
Several
back?
years ago, yeah. We used to do a segment here on the morning show. We called it our hometown tour, and we were at the Hermitage specifically for the sheep.
Oh, I was just out there last week, and I saw the sheep out there.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Check it out.
Fair enough. Something else to check out here. Maybe you don't even want to do anything in the heat. You're just saying, forget about it. It's too hot. Go outside tonight. you're going to see something pretty cool here. We have our full moon gearing up for tonight into tomorrow and then into Saturday, and we're going to have the full moon at 8:08 tomorrow. That's the official time when it peaks. It's the strawberry moon. This one's interesting, though. It's the lowest full moon we have had in years, meaning closest to the horizon, meaning you're going to get a little optical illusion. They call it a moon illusion, where it will actually appear bigger than it should. So it's going to look a little bit bigger, to be bright, clear sky overnight tonight and into tomorrow as well. And maybe you have some friends that are coming into town, or you're getting on a flight and getting out of here, trying to get away from the heat. 79 degrees at PNA at 9. We'll be at 89 degrees at noon, 93 at 3 p.m. And no rain today, so rain and weather will not impact your flight from Nashville. At least our weather won't. And right now, the big board looks great. 73 degrees. We're getting warmer hour by hour. Only 8 flight delays. This time of the morning, this time of the week on a Thursday, that's a really good way to start a day at the airport.
Let's get to steer clear traffic. We've got good news coming in from Rutherford County. This is going to be I-24 at Elm Road. This is where we were dealing with stop and go here, bumper to bumper a few moments ago, because of overnight construction. They finally picked up all the cones, and we are in much better shape now getting in from that particular area south of Murfreesboro than what we were a few moments ago. And again, we were dealing with it all morning long, but again, much better shape now. Here's 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. We were just dealing with a crash out here short time ago. Looks like they have cleared that and moved that out of the way, so your overall drive time shaping up like this. 33 minutes in from Franklin, just over an hour still from Murfreesboro, 41 minutes in from Mount Juliet.
Justin, thank you. Let's talk about some more golf, because for the first time ever, Live Golf Nashville is just one day away.
Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live at the Grove.
Yeah, good morning, Jen and Erica. So we're here right at the 15th hole. This is the party hole. This is where all of the action's going to happen this weekend, well, starting tomorrow. And the fan village at Live Golf will merge sports and entertainment for everyone, for kids, for families. There's going to be games. There's one game that's called Hit the Town. It's a Nashville Skyline Velcro Chipping Challenge. There's also going to be a dunk tank filled with a sweet tea and so much more. And there's concerts Friday and Saturday night. And Saturday night, Dan and Shay will play around 5 p.m. and this goes until Sunday. So from Friday into Sunday. In the next hour, we're going to actually talk with the SVP, the Senior Vice President for Hospitality and Ticketing here. And he's going to tell us there's going to be a surprise. There's a way that fans can actually win some big bucks at the 15th hole. Reporting live in College Grove, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you. It's so exciting out there. Thank you also for waking up with us here every single weekday morning on Fox 17 News. We're your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 until 9. Stay with us.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Feeding America for.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 7:55 is the time right now. Taking a live look from Port Arkansas in Texas, where Tropical Storm Alberto is flooding some of the Texas beaches. Bear with us as our camera racks the focus here to get hopefully a better view. Just wanted to let you know that we're monitoring what is now the first official named hurricane of the season, and whether that could have any impacts here on the mainland is something we'll continue to keep you updated on.
Right now, though, in your community, it appears the endangered Nashville crayfish is now making a comeback. Local experts who have been studying the freshwater crustaceans say their numbers are now on the rise. The crayfish make their home mainly in creeks around the city, if you're not familiar with them. They're also very social, sometimes living in groups of 60 under one single rock. There's talk of them being taken off the endangered list, but experts say they still need protection because of rapid growth, which threatens their habitats.
Tiny little things. Hey, get this, rapper and singer Post Malone making his debut this week at Nashville's iconic Bluebird Cafe. Post gone country.
I like it.
Post Malone announcing this week that he is releasing a country album in August called F1 Trillion. His hit song with Morgan Wallen, I Had Some Help, has spent weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. The Bluebird, by the way, of course, a long-standing, iconic spot here in Nashville where singers will debut their work. He has shared video of him singing with Lainey Wilson, the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Man, oh man. Have you guys heard Let's talk about J-Lo also, like Jennifer Lopez. People apparently trying to tell her to
do a country album?
Do a country album so she can.
I don't think so. The last thing we need is J-Lo and Post Malone and Beyonce doing a collaboration.
Well, what if we had Jenny on the block, like on a horse?
Jenny on the farm.
Jenny on the farm? I don't know.
Could it work? I'm just
if,
Jenny from the farm.
If Post Malone can go country,
hey, though, I like that. I love that Morgan Wallen Post Malone song.
I had some help.
That is some good singing there.
Yeah.
Until Snoop Dogg drops his country album, then there's nothing off limits.
Beyonce went country, right?
That's very true. Taking a look here. We're going to golf theme it again. I'm going to break down each day for the Live Golf Tournament. If you're heading out there or you're going to be watching it, here's what you're getting into or the golfers are getting into. 92 degrees on Friday at noon. Now, it's a shotgun start at 12:15, meaning you're not going to watch every player take off at the first hole. You start at different holes so they can all end it pretty quickly here within a 4 or 5 hour time period, but 98 at 3. 93 at 6 p.m. for your Friday. Feels like a 101. You're going to kind of see a theme here. 95 at noon on Saturday. 99 degrees at 3 p.m. 95 at 6. Feels like 101. Can we continue the theme? Hot weekend. 94 noon on Sunday. 98 at 3. And it feels like of 102. So there's no escaping the heat. Whether you're out there or not, you're going to have this heat everywhere. It's blanketing all of Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. You can watch those temperatures rise in real time. Hour-by-hour forecast on the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. Go ahead and scan that QR code or just type in Code Red in the App Store or Google Play Store. Two good places to go. And this is also helpful if maybe you have a summer vacation plan. Anywhere you're at in the country, it'll give you severe weather alerts to the county you are in and have that live and local Doppler radar for you 24/7.
Steer clear traffic. I want to point out one thing to you very quickly, and that is what's going on Ellington Parkway and Briley Parkway. This is north of the city there in Madison. We have got a couple of things happening out there involving a dump truck that was stalled on the side of the road. TDOT arrived and was able to help it get over to the shoulder. You can see right there still operating. So heads up in that area, but you can't get by. It's now holding things up, and you can move along. Still dealing with some backlog of that construction down there at I-24 at Elm Road. At one point, it was free-flowing and smooth. Now it's still dealing with some backup, but we expect it to start to pick up again in speed. Coming up over the next few minutes, we'll tell you about other things happening with steer clear traffic in our 8 o'clock hour.
Justin, thank you. Right now, we're taking a quick look to see what's trending over on our website, fox17.com. Hey, it's this story about space and a space oddity. NASA is making its very own star to launch by 2029. You know, this is interesting because all I can wonder is, can we focus on getting Butch Wilmore back home?
Can we just get him home safely?
Before we talk about trying to launch and have our own star?
By the way, Butch is supposed, and along with his other astronaut co-pilot there, Sonny Williams, supposed to come back next week. So we'll keep an eye on that. And by the way, you can get all of these stories straight to your inbox every morning by signing up for our daily newsletter. You can do that on the homepage, fox17.com.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Thursday morning, working to give Nashville more affordable housing. Our Fox 17 News reporter, Madeline Nolan, is going to share some updates.
Continuing coverage this morning on teenage crime. We're hearing from a Nashville mom who has experienced it firsthand.
The forecast already warming up for us going into the afternoon. First day of summer, going to feel like it and only get hotter into the weekend. Ways to beat the heat. And if you want to get outside, some best take precautions we can use.
All right, let's kick off the first day of summer with Fox 17 News this Thursday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source here for you through 9 a.m.
Well, when you think of Amazon, you may be thinking, you know, quick deliveries and online shopping, but Amazon also has a really big footprint right here in Nashville.
Yeah, including their investment in building and preserving more affordable housing here, and that is a topic we have discussed for years.
Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan live in studio with some more details. Good morning, Madeline.
Good morning. They call it Amazon's Home Equity Fund, and the goal was to preserve at least 20,000 units of affordable housing across Amazon 3 home hometown communities. Well, Nashville is one of those hometowns, and Amazon announced that they actually exceeded their goal and preserved 22,000 units with an investment of $2.25 billion. Now they're planning to invest another $1.4 billion to create and preserve another 14,000 units. Well, Nashville alone has over 3,000 units of affordable housing in partnership with Amazon, which is a long-term housing with 99-year affordability, something Michelle Gaskin-Brown, the public policy manager at Amazon, says is needed as the cost of living rises.
So all across the country, you will hear that the cost of housing has increased, and that was something we heard as we really came to Nashville and was just learning more about the city, figuring out where we can deploy resources, and we kept hearing affordable housing, and so just we all got together and this fund was established, and so we were really excited to just be able to let that be one part of our community impact investment.
At least 800 of the affordable housing units are already here in Nashville and located near WeGo high-capacity transit locations, allowing for low, medium-income Nashvillians to have access to transportation. Now, we'll have more coming up in the next half hour, but for now, back to you guys.
Madeline, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, take a look at the forecast here. 8:03 is our time, and we are working through the first day of summer. We haven't hit the official market, that official time on the clock, but we're already getting the heat, and we've had the heat for over a week. This is the first day, though, on the calendar of it, and it's also when we have our strongest sun rays that can be the most damaging to your skin. So we'll talk UV index, ways to stay safe going into the weekend, not just from the sun. We're aiming for near 100 on Saturday and Sunday with limited rain chances between now and the end of the weekend. If we don't put down any rain, we're going to hit that 100-degree mark in some spots on Saturday. It's looking really, really likely. So we're all clear for code red today. That arrow likely goes up as we get into the weekend itself, because if the heat index goes above 102, 103, you start getting into dangerous heat, and that would prompt us to go into code red and then go into, you know, the more explainer type of thing. What can we do? What are the hours we can't go outside versus the ones we should be okay? 77 right now is a great hour to go outside. Plenty of sunshine. Sunniest days so far this week, and it will help us heat up a little bit more. We're talking about the upper 80s in the Cumberland Plateau, and then low to middle 90s in surrounding areas around Nashville. Nashville itself aiming for a high of 96 hot and slightly humid degrees this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic takes us out to I-24. This is going to be over at the Alum Road area there in Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. We've been dealing with stop and go traffic here on and off all morning long, and not just here, but all the way into town from Joe B. Jackson all the way up to Shelbyville Parkway. We've been dealing with serious problems. So far, right now, we've been looking much better than a few moments ago when we were stop and go at the same location. Overnight construction was the big reason behind all of this. So now that they have cleared the barrels, look like things are trying to normalize out there, but it could take it a little while. Here's I-40 at Spence Lane. They don't have construction here. They just got sun glare in this area, slowing things up a little bit. You can always take Elm Hill Pike or Lebanon Pike if you don't like what you see. We'll continue to watch things.
Continuing coverage now of teenage crime here in the Mid-State. Talia Monget says her son graduated from Hillsborough High School the month before. Somebody shot and killed him outside of a friend's Sweet 16 party.
This mom says that her son has so much more life to live, and she does not want to see other families have to go through what she is dealing with.
What are our leaders going to do in the city of Nashville other than, watch the city grow to max capacity? And so is the crime.
That mom that you just heard from started an organization in honor of her son. It's called the Antword Covington Jr. Foundation. The foundation caters to youth through community programs. Also, this foundation helps with parents looking out for red flags or warning signs of trouble their kids may be getting into.
Now, interestingly enough, we have some state lawmakers who are taking a different approach to this issue. Last session, state representatives passed a Parental Accountability Act. This allows the juvenile courts to fine parents up to $1,000 if their children are involved in certain crimes. That law goes into effect coming up July 1st.
Right now, though, we do want to hear from you all. We're always asking for your perspective. So what do you think? Take a look at the question. What do you think is the best answer to curb juvenile crime? As of right now, 57.4% of you all are saying that stricter punishment is the answer. You can scan the QR code that we're sharing right here on your screen, or go to our Fox Nashville social media pages to sound off.
Leaders in Wilson County have given the green light for a new courthouse. And And everybody agrees that is needed, but there's still a lot of debate about how to pay for it.
Why some believe the sacrifices for the new building might be asking too much.
Right now, a couple different live looks from Nashville, kicking off your Thursday morning.
8:09 is the time. Wilson County has voted to spend close to $84 million on a brand new courthouse. Now, there's very little argument there in Wilson County about why they would need a brand new courthouse. There's lots of needs, though, across the county. Some county commissioners are wondering where the funding for all of these new projects, not just a courthouse, but many new schools that they need and other projects, how are they going to pay for it?
Golly, we're putting it in here to build these buildings, and we're also getting ready to build another school. Right after that, we're going to be building a middle school. And on the heels of that, we need to be looking at another high school. We're going to be spending a whole lot of money. And how are we going to do that? They're not revenue. We only have really one choice, and it's some sort of tax.
Folks, we have to keep this county safe, and we talk about law enforcement on the streets doing their job, but the criminal justice process is more than just your police officers. It's a court process. The next person that's going to come in is not going to be cheaper. There is no way, because they are listening to how strapped we are.
$84 million is what they're looking to spend on that brand new courthouse. Now, the current courthouse that they've got has been in use since the late 1960s. The population at that point in Wilson County was less than 40,000 people. Right now, they've got 158,000 and growing. Speaking of growth, Nashville is continuing to break tourism records yet again. The city says that they've got around $10 billion in tourism revenue last year alone. That's according to the Nashville Convention and Visitors Corporation. They also say the number of tourists visiting the city continues to rise, 17 million people, and they're preparing for another huge influx of visitors as they're already building another 2,000 hotel rooms that are under construction and 13,000 more that are in the planning phases. On top of the 40,000 hotel rooms that the city already has, today the CVC, that's the Convention and Visitors Corporation, they're expected to announce their strategic plan. So as we learn more, we're going to update you both on air and online at fox17.com. The Metro Action Commission is offering free fans and air conditioner units to people in need this summer as part of their summer cooling program. Now, people who qualify for this can get free fans or the air conditioners if you are an elderly member, or if you have families with children under the age of 6 years old, or people with disabilities. Now, the summer cooling program is funded by donations. So if you have a need and you need more information about how to get one of these free fans or air conditioners, or if you'd like to donate, you can always email the Metro Action Commission.
And coming up next in your forecast, we have to work our way into a very hot and humid weekend. Even looks hot right there overlooking Nissan Stadium, where Monster Jam is in town tomorrow night. We'll take a look at a lot of things happening around town coming up in that forecast.
And steer clear traffic takes us to I-65 at Trinity Lane on the north side of town. Stop and go. But it's typical for this time of the day. We're going to give you the latest looks of how to steer clear coming up in a few. Plus, golf.
Well, happening today, it's a 615 Open over at the Hermitage Golf Course, and it's all benefiting a fantastic cause.
Sure is, and Fox 17 News glad to be a part of it. We have our Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Maffey live out there on the course this morning.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. That's right, we're here at the Hermitage Golf Course, live on links this morning. The 615 Open tees off a little bit later on this afternoon, and it's all benefiting the Souls for Souls Foundation, which Jamie Ellis is a huge part of. And Jamie, let's talk about last year's tournament, because I heard it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I will also say it was not as hot as this year is going to be, but we loved having it here last year, loved having Cromwell partner with us on this, and hopefully we'll have just as many people out here today as we did last year. It was super fun.
Definitely. So a few of our reporters are teeing off later. If you're listening now, if you're watching now, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Can you talk about Souls for Souls, though? It's a great cause helping kids that need shoes.
That's right. So today's 615 Open benefits our For Every Kid program, which helps provide new athletic shoes to children experiencing homelessness both around the U.S. and right here in Middle Tennessee.
And so you guys work with the schools and also the suppliers as well. to try to just put shoes on every feet.
That's right. So any brand that you can think of, all the best brands out there, we work directly with them, and we're able to work with schools to say, what do you need? What are the actual sizes, genders, all of that sort of stuff, and we're able to provide exactly what they need for those students.
And if people can't make it out today, where can they go to help out?
Yeah, so they can go to foreverykid.org. That's the number 4everykid.org, and just $20 provides one brand new pair of athletic shoes for those kids.
That's awesome, Jamie. Thanks so much. And like Jen and Erica were mentioning, we are very proud sponsors here at Fox 17 of this event. I'm not getting out there, which is probably a good thing later, but we do have some reporters participating, some other big names as well, and we'll check back in a little bit. Here from Hermitage Golf Course, I'm Johnny Maffey, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
I don't know, Johnny had collegiate baseball under his belt, so I think golf, he can handle that.
Probably a little different swing, but he's athletic. Hey, listen, I need a moment.
Okay.
With the two of you.
Yes.
And you. Apparently, a few minutes ago, when we were talking about the sheep at the Hermitage Golf Course.
Yes.
I was explaining how we had seen the sheep out there at the golf course. It's a whole thing. And we featured them during our hometown tour segment here on Fox 17 News several years ago. Well, it's been brought to my attention that there might have been people who heard differently when I was talking about our hometown tour. So I just wanted to clarify that we were talking about sheep at the Hermitage on our hometown tour.
There you go.
All. Carry on.
I'm not touching this.
As you were.
Nope.
As you were.
Jen, it is 5 hours of live news every morning.
Trying to get me in trouble.
Thousands of words every day. Hometown tour. Take a look here. Let's tee off here and see what we're looking at here as far as the forecast goes. We know that the 615 open, that tee time, that shotgun start is at right around noon. So if you are going out there, 89 degrees by then. Earlier tee time's looking good. 93 degrees at 3 p.m. So we're talking about a late game of golf. Probably not a great idea today or any other day of the next 7 days because it's just downright hot. Taking a look here. We have our dog of the day, Peach, ready to go. I think Peach is going, can I get a little walk in before everything gets too hot? Now it's still okay. Thank you, Brittany from Nolensville, for sending in that photo of Peach, taking a look, and getting out the door at 87 degrees. That's how quickly we get to 87 degrees by 11 o'clock. Not even 3 hours from now. Right side of your screen, we're still in the 70s. We'll be at 89 by noon. It's a very quick warm-up today. 95, that's around the ballpark for our temperatures later on today. So if you're taking the dog to the dog park and there is pavement, whether it be sidewalk or blacktop, we're back to the point where it's dangerous to walk on it for too long. And if the paws are just sitting there, just like that, after about a minute, paw pads start to get a little bit burned. It's not good to do it. Just make sure you're trying to find grassy areas and don't go in the peak heating of today. 96 this afternoon, 98 degrees on your Friday, 100 degrees on Saturday and Sunday. That is not a misprint. Even if we don't hit that on the actual thermometer, it's going to feel hotter than 100 degrees both days of the weekend.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning on this Thursday. Let's get you out to I-40 at Stewart's Ferry Pike in Hermitage. We are dealing with smooth traffic here, even though we did see some stop and go here a short time ago. We really did. Things have cleared up over the last few moments to where they're a lot smoother than what they were a few moments ago. So that is great news. Here are your drive times. Everybody in the green right now. Franklin at 33 minutes. Murfreesboro just under an hour. Clarksville 64 minutes in from Montgomery County.
Well, today is the first day of summer, and the heat is officially on regarding this year's summer solstice. It's going to be the longest day of sunlight, 3:50 this afternoon. That's the meteorological official start of summer.
I mean, the number of hours in the day don't change.
No.
We still have 24 hours. It's not the longest day. You just get the most sunlight.
Correct.
During the day. The U.S. Naval Observatory says it is the moment that the sun reaches its highest point in the sky the entire year. And by the way, they say it's the earliest solstice since 1796. That's impressive.
Yeah. Apparently George Washington was president back then when this all happened. This year's summer solstice happens on June. Well, we said today.
3:50 today.
Yes.
Is when summer officially starts. So we've been talking about it this morning. Are you used to the heat yet? Have you lived here your whole life? Are you kind of used to it? Maybe you are brand new to this climate. We've had a lot of folks sounding off this morning. You can scan that QR code right there and let us know. I made the point too, though, even if you grew up here, which most of you in our poll did, you still might not be used to the heat. You know, like you might, just because you grew up here doesn't mean you have to like it.
Exactly.
Anyhow, sound off.
And have some fun the first day of summer.
That's right.
There are teenagers over in Spring Hill facing charges after police say they were hitting people with or being.
8:24 is the time. In Operation Crime and Justice, Gallatin police are asking for your help identifying 3 people that you'll see right here in these images. They say that these 3 are wanted for shoplifting at the Walmart on Nashville Pike. Now, they were last seen in that gray Nissan headed towards Hendersonville. If you have any information about who they may be, you're asked to contact Officer Wilkerson there at the Gallatin Police Department.
Also new this morning, we have an Antioch man who is charged with attempted homicide. Metro police say Antonio Mason fired 6 or 7 rounds toward his ex-girlfriend's car while 2 teenagers were inside. This all happened Tuesday at Mason's apartment on Apache Trail. Looking at the map here, you can see that's just south of I-24 at Haywood Lane. Apparently, the ex-girlfriend came back to his place to talk about stuff he had left at hers, and that's when the shots were fired. The good news here, nobody got hurt, but Mason is charged with attempted homicide and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
So at 8:25, we want to take a look at something going on down in Spring Hill. That is where several teenagers are now facing charges after police say they shot Orbeez. These things back here. They were shooting them at vehicles and even hitting pedestrians, we understand. This was all happening again down in Spring Hill.
Yeah, first happened last Friday in the Benvento subdivision where police say 2 teenagers hit a 15-year-old girl with one of these pellet guns that fires the Orbeez. They say it happened again Sunday on Duplex Road with a driver getting hit in the head.
Wow.
The teenagers charged with aggravated assault. Investigators think these teenagers are using these Orbeez guns to shoot gel blasters either at each other from car to car or toward pedestrians.
In other words, just playing. But this is not a plaything. Spring Hill Police wants to emphasize to parents and teens alike to please know that this is not a game. This is not a social media challenge they should be participating in. This is a crime, and the people involved with this are now facing charges.
8:26, looking at your forecast, moving around, getting up, getting out the door here to temperatures that are already climbing. Right side of your screen, the currents are up there, and every hour we've just been seeing them tick up and up since the sun came up just before 5:30 this morning. Again, longest daylight of the year. Sunset will be at 8:07, and boy, is it going to be hot most of that time. 96 the high temperature. High UV index, too, because that sun angle is perfect to give us that longest daylight of the year. That also will give us a burn time of less than 10 minutes if we're not using the sunscreen and not trying to find the shade. Taking a look, no one to mow. It's just the time of the day. You can do it every day with no rain, but early in the morning or right before sunset, the only times you're going to have a little bit of relief from the heat the next 5 to 7 days.
Steer clear traffic coming up in 8:27. A quick look here at I-65 at Moores Lane. This is out in Franklin. Traffic there moving along really nicely in both directions. Honestly, it's one of those rare times in the morning where the traffic heading in and the traffic coming out looks almost equal on both sides here. So if you've got a mission in mind there in Cool Springs, just know you will not be alone. Plenty of traffic out there, but it is moving. We're going to check into some other areas of town coming up soon.
8:27, the Vols advance. We'll tell you what's next in the College World Series.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It's 8:30 right now on Fox 17 News This Morning. More than just fast shipping, we'll tell you what Amazon is doing to add affordable housing to Nashville.
And the heat is on this first day of summer, and it is not going to let up. It only gets worse before it gets better. If you don't like the heat, buckle up for a pretty rough forecast coming your way in a few.
I-65 at Concord Road. That's where we've come up with our latest slowdown. Coming in from Brentwood, we'll give you an update.
Thank you so much for joining us here for our final 30 minutes of Fox 17 News this Thursday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right to our top story this half hour. And it does take a closer look in our community when it comes to housing. I know when we all think about Amazon, we think about quick ordering, online shopping, overnight delivery and whatnot, but Amazon is working to make a bigger footprint here in Nashville.
Yeah, so talking more about investing in building and preserving, I should say, more affordable housing. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan joining us live in the studio this Thursday morning, giving us some more details about what all of this entails.
Yeah, exactly. Across the country, you'll hear that the cost of housing has skyrocketed. But with what Amazon is doing with their home equity fund, they're preserving units of affordable housing. Nashville is one of 3 areas who are benefiting from this program. After exceeding their goal to preserve at least 20,000 units, they announced that they're planning to invest another $1.4 billion on top of the already $2.25 billion to create and preserve another 14,000 units. Nashville alone has over 3,000 units of affordable housing, and they plan to add more.
So we are working all across Nashville. We are partnering with local developers and nonprofits who've been working in affordable housing for decades. And we just view ourselves as a funder, being able to come in and help provide additional funding, but also make sure that all of these units are available and affordable for at least 99 years.
Currently, an affordable housing complex called Park 24 is being developed here in Nashville, and they recently opened the Cherry Oak Apartments at Casey Place.
All right, Madeline, Amazon said that 87% of the homes are going to serve households earning less than 60% of the average median income, and they have a partnership with WeGo to try to make this all happen, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. They committed $75 million to create at least 800 homes near WeGo transit corridors to provide transportation access to low to moderate income Nashvillians.
Madeline, thank you so much for joining us here this Thursday morning.
And here we are at 8:33, and it's the first day of summer. We are gearing up for what's going to be an even hotter stretch of weather than we had the last time we went into a weekend and cranked it up near 100 degrees. So what is new this morning? Well, new season. We just mentioned, heat and humidity are on the rise. The humidity is going to creep up on us very, very slowly. But by the time we actually get into Saturday and Sunday, you're going to walk outside and it's going to be very noticeable. Limited rain chances until then. They're not at 0. There could be a pop-up shower tomorrow or Saturday, but we're talking about the smallest and briefest of light rain shower. Nothing I'm really even putting in the forecast to worry about, to be quite honest. 77 degrees and sunshine right now. The sunniest day we've had so far this entire week. You want the sunglasses and the sunblock. Anything you can do to block the sun, quite honestly, is going to help us out very much so this afternoon. 85 degrees at 10 o'clock, 93 at 2, and still 94 degrees at 5 o'clock. We'll hit our peak temperature right around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Nashville area, 96 degrees. You get a little away from downtown, the temperatures will drop a little bit. The Cumberland Plateau still making it into the upper 80s.
Steer clear traffic. We are following the situation out of Brentwood. Let's get you to I-65 at Concord Road. As you make that drive in from the Brentwood area from Franklin, we're starting to see a bit of a slowdown. We understand there could be a couple of crashes out here. We have not been able to see them on camera, but the backup is real as it extends back towards not just Concord Road, but back behind this into the Cool Springs area. So let me show you what we're dealing with on the drive right now. Looks like around 40 minutes in from Franklin. You can see where the slowdown begins right here. It was a little further up, but now starting to slim back, it would seem. You could try to use the Franklin Road area, that's Highway 31 or Highway 6, depending on where you pick it up, that rolls into town as well. But it too has some slowdowns as you hit traffic lights here as you go towards the city of Brentwood.
Well, the first ever Live Golf Nashville event is just one day away.
Live Golf, very different from PGA Golf.
Yes.
And it's all coming to our area. Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Muse joining us live.
Yeah, good morning, Jen and Erica. So we're here, we're live on the 15th hole. This is the party hole for Live Golf, gearing up for an exciting weekend. Now we're gonna have Troy Tuck come over here. He is the SVP of Live Golf, and he's also the SVP for ticketing and hospitality here with Live Golf. So tell us a little bit about this event this weekend. I mean, we've already got the music playing, the energy. It is an exciting time for you guys, huh?
Okay, we turned up the music for you. So yeah, welcome to the party hole. Welcome to Live Golf Nashville. We are at max capacity on Saturday. We're about 99% there on Friday and Sunday. So it's going to be quite a party here. And we got activations all over the course. So we're excited to be here. And Nashville has been welcoming us with open arms. So.
And that's the Nashville welcome that you can get from us here. Now, I know there's something special that's going on a little bit later in this Live Golf time here at the 15th hole. There's a prize that somebody can win. Can you tell me a little bit about this? Because when I heard the numbers, I was floored.
Well, you got to make sure you sign up. So it's LiveX. If somebody hits a hole-in-one, one of our guys hits a hole-in-one of The 3 days here were Friday to Sunday. Then someone, a subscriber to LiveX, will win $100,000. You don't actually have to be here on site, so sign up, go to livegolf.com, sign up for LiveX. And if one of our guys, the first person hit a hole-in-one, let's hope we have multiple, but the first one hit a hole-in-one, $100,000.
Now, for fans who may have just heard about this, who are in Nashville, didn't know about this event that's going on, how can people secure last-minute tickets? What do people need to know?
Yeah, best thing is go to livegolf.com. I highly suggest going right away. Saturday, we're pretty much out of tickets. Still some availability on Friday and Sunday. We are a shotgun start, so Caitlin, that means everybody's starting at the same time, which is about 12:15 Friday, 12:15 Saturday, 12:05 on Sunday.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Troy. Again, we're live here in College Grove at Live Golf. We're going to have more information on this event and everything that fans can expect a little later in the day. Live in College Grove, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Peyton, thank you. Hey, it's a party. I like that music out there in Franklin. Fox 17 News, your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 until 9. After the break, we'll have some more updates for you, including that forecast tracking the hot temperatures for the first day of summer.
Nearly 22 million children living in America rely on schools for their meals. Fox 17 News and our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, are partnering with Fox 17 News this morning. It's 8:40 and in your community, we've got the largest swimming lesson that returns this summer. This is a nationwide event highlighting water safety, and we have something going on here in the mid-state as part of it. Events across the world will celebrate 15 years of this so-called world's largest swimming lesson today, where kids and adults can both learn the importance of being water aware. The CDC says that drowning is the leading cause of death for especially children between the ages of 1 and 4. The Goldfish Swim School in Franklin is participating.
And here we are at 8:41 taking a look. There's always a lot of things going on around town, and we're starting up fair season too. So that means that we got to talk about the Western Kentucky State Fair taking place this week on the 21st through the 23rd, so tomorrow through Sunday. And let's look at the forecast here up in Hopkinsville, what people can expect as they're heading out there. Here Friday, 93 degrees, 95 degrees at Saturday, and then 96 on Sunday. So we're going to be closer to 100 in the Nashville area, a few clicks cooler up in Hoptown, but there's also going to be a little bit of humidity we have to work with. No rainfall, just a couple of clouds on and off. And now it's time for our curious question of the morning. These are all real every day, no matter how kind of crazy they might sound. What animal did Australian soldiers fight in a war? Australian soldiers in a war in 1932. Kangaroos, snakes, emus, or koalas? The answer coming up in about 5 minutes.
All right, things have gotten a little busy with clear traffic all of a sudden, so let's take us over to Broadley Parkway and McGavick Pike. This is over in the Donaldson area. We have got the fire department who is showing up on the scene there to take care of a car. Also got a flatbed truck. That car that is on the flatbed looks like it may have been on fire at one point. Looks like a little chart there, according to the video we've got, but whatever it is, it's clearly under control now, and they're going to be there dealing with the aftermath. So heads up in that area. A little bit of a slow go from 65 at Moores Lane. This is coming through the Cool Springs area. We've got a little bit of a backup here because of an earlier crash near Concord Road. You can take Franklin Pike to steer clear.
Well, happening today, it's the 615 Open over at the Hermitage Golf Course, and it's all benefiting a great cause, and we're a sponsor, Fox 17 News.
We sure are. Let's send it out live now to Fox 17 News reporter Johnny Mathey. He's on the course this morning. Johnny, I got to ask you before you get into the details here, have you seen the sheep anywhere yet?
No, guys, we have not seen the sheep yet, but hopefully the sheep are staying cool today somewhere in the shade over behind us, because I gotta say we're cooking out here. Greg's Code Red forecast is very toasty here at Hermitage Golf Course, and so the 615 Open today, it's all benefiting Souls for Souls, which Jamie is a huge part of. She's joining us again. Thanks so much for coming on Fox 17 this morning. This 615 Open, you guys did it last year too. First off, tell me how much events like this benefit and help your cause.
Listen, we're so happy to be partnering with Cromwell Media again for this event and for having sponsors like Fox 17. It really makes a huge difference just getting the word out there to people, obviously on TV and on the radio, but just even being here and being able to talk about the impact one-on-one just makes a huge difference.
All right, so let's get that word out. Can you talk about Souls for Souls?
Yeah, so Souls for Souls is a global nonprofit. We provide shoes and clothing to people in need. And then for today, the 615 Open is to benefit our For Every Kid program, which is to provide brand new athletic shoes to children experiencing homelessness right here in Middle Tennessee.
Absolutely, and so it helps out kids right here. You are a global organization, but you work with schools around here and other groups too. Can you talk about that part of it?
Listen, when we talk to these schools, we have so many great community resources right here in Nashville, right, that provide things like food and other necessary items for these kids, but we do shoes and we do it well, right? So it's really such a great honor to be able to work with schools like Metro Nashville Public Schools and other schools in the area to really help provide this thing that they're not going to be able to get otherwise.
And if you can't make it today, foreverykid.org. Am I saying that right?
That's right. For Every Kid, the number 4, everykid.org.
Awesome, Jamie. Thanks so much. Well, everyone's teeing off a little bit later on this afternoon, guys. Stay hydrated if you're teeing off, or if you're getting outside at all today, or if you're getting out on the golf course. I know Peyton's over at the Live tournament this weekend as well. We'll be sending it back to the studio now. The 615 Open, if you can benefit the Souls for Souls cause, help them out. For Every Kids, the number 4.org. For now, though, live on the links this morning, I'm Johnny Matthew. Guys, back to you.
Not a bad assignment, Johnny. Not bad at all. 8:47 right now. Let's talk sports highlights, specifically the Vols baseball program. They are continuing their dominance, and they took down Florida State yesterday. Now back in the World Series finals for the first time since 1951.
Okay, so it's been a while. Vols taking on the same Florida State team they beat in a come-behind thriller last Friday. This time, Vols in full control. Top of the first, Vols with 2 on. Hunter Inslee coming up clutch with a line drive off John Abram. 1 run comes in, Vols up 2-0. But check out this play. Bottom first, Vols outfielder Kavaris Tears crashes hard into the wall, still able to come up with the catch.
Impressive. And you could tell he's pumped about it, too. He gets the throw in. Woof. Man, oh man, spectacular play. 4th inning, Christian Moore is going to rip one down the line for a triple. That makes it 5-0 Tennessee, and the Vols don't stop there. 9th inning, Blake Burke is going to come up to bat, and that's the cherry on top right there.
Vols starting pitcher Xander Sechrist allowing just 2 earned runs in 6 innings of work. Vols ultimately taking down Florida State 7-2, now advancing to the College World Series Finals.
There's, we can always say before something happens, and there's been a lot of build-up into the successes we've had this year and the failures too, to be honest with you, and it's just been fun to be a part of. And as far as my emotions, I'm kind of at the point where I'm just following these guys. There's certain tasks that I have to do, and there's direction that I give them, and they'll listen, but kind of following them right now makes it nice.
All righty, so what's next? Well, we have a best-of-3 championship series that will start coming up Saturday.
There are plenty of baseball players that are hitting the field today under the hot summer sun.
Yeah.
So hydrate.
Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And you put your thinking cap on, too, for a moment. Curious question. What animal did Australian soldiers fight in a war? This is real. In 1932. Kangaroos, snakes, emus, or koalas? It was the Emu War. And it got to the point to where the emus actually ended up winning the war because they found out that they actually have lookout emus that go into packs that coordinate how to get away and then attack the other people. They lost, or I should say the people lost, and they had machine guns and the emus won. So go look it up. It's actually a fun little history lesson. 79 degrees at 9 a.m. in the backyard, 89. Hopefully you got some shade and some trees. It'll be very helpful to beat the heat and also beat the sun. 93 degrees at 3 p.m. This is our most impactful sunlight of the entire year. This date, the solstice, when the sun hits us the hardest and gives us the most UV rays. You can see it on our Metro Center camera right there. If you're at the pool, the sunscreen, you need to have it on every half hour. 94 degrees at 5 p.m. and you actually get even more sun absorption when you're in the water. Keep that in mind. UV index is very high. It's extreme. Less than 10 minutes. You get a sunburn if you're not keeping your skin covered up. So this is the one day I really do stress sunscreen, because the sun is never stronger than it is today, and it's nearly unlimited with very little cloud cover. Muggy meter, dew points are in the 60s, close to 70. Humidity, 90s. sunburn. It is that kind of a day here for the first day of summer. Taking a look, 96 today, 98 degrees tomorrow, pair of 100s on Saturday and Sunday. Those will feel even hotter in the low triple digits for the heat index.
Steer clear traffic. We just had a car fire that cleared that was taking place happening out there on Briley Parkway near McGavick Pike. Car was out there, caught fire. The fire department came, put it out. They've already put it on the back of a tow truck and pulled it out of there. So no more problems out there in the Donaldson area. Good news for you. Still dealing with a bit of a backup here on I-65 at Morris Lane. All right, so listen, we got all these people jumping off here. This is at the exit for Cool Springs Boulevard and Morris Lane. And actually, Cool Springs a little further up this way. This would be Morris itself. Exit for Cool Springs Galleria. It's backing up onto the interstate. Unsure exactly what the issue is, but you don't have to take this. You can keep going, jump off at Cool Springs, that direction there, Cool Springs Boulevard, and work your way around anything that you're trying to get to. You just have to go sort of the back way there, coming in through the city of Franklin. If you want to avoid this backup here on the interstate itself, you want to try to take Franklin Pike.
Well, Gallatin police are asking for the community's help identifying 3 people in these photographs. We're going to take a closer look too. Officers say that these 3 are wanted for shoplifting at the Walmart located over on Nashville Pike. And police say they were last seen in a gray Nissan sedan heading towards Hendersonville. If you're watching this and you recognize those responsible, maybe you have some information. You were asked to call Officer Wilkerson. He is handling this case. The number is right there at the bottom of your screen. It's also being shared over on fox17.com.
And new this morning, we have a man from Antioch who's charged with attempted homicide. Metro Police say Antonio Mason fired several shots at his ex-girlfriend's car. We've mapped out where it happened. This is just south of I-24 at Haywood Lane. We understand there were 2 teenagers inside that car at the time. The woman reportedly had gone to Mason's apartment on Apache Trail to talk about stuff he left at her place. That's when the shots rang out. Police say they found 3 bullet holes in the woman's car. Nobody got hurt. Mason charged with attempted homicide and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
At 8:56, let's check in now with our Code Red meteorologist.
Happy first day of summer, and